Hello, everyone, and welcome back to The Good Screen, episode 49. I'm back with Lauren. She's feeling better.
I'm back. I'm better.
Thank God I don't have to do the podcast with Will anymore. Oh my God.
Yeah, that sounded miserable.
It was definitely one of the worst ones we ever did.
I only listened to the first half because
you couldn't even get through it.
I was so bored.
No, I'm just kidding. I actually had a lot of fun.
I'm also kidding. I did listen to the first half, but I haven't listened to the second half yet because I haven't felt like listening to a podcast yet.
Yeah. Nobody responded to the little poll we put at the end, so I guess
Good.
Will's not on the podcast.
Yeah.
I talked to him on, I think I told you this already. I talked to him on Friday, and I was like, hey, like, if you want to be on, you can, like, do every other week. And he was like, no.
It's hard.
It's not really that bad.
It's a lot.
Remember when we did all the weeks and Shrek, like 2?
Yeah, that's because we devoted all of our free time to it.
We loved doing that, though.
It was kind of fun.
Yeah.
I don't have as much free time now, though.
Yeah, I don't even know how I did that. So today we have a lot to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
Did we decide if we're just stretching it or we're just going to talk about everything?
We're just going to talk about everything because what if I forget something later? I feel like I've already forgotten stuff.
Okay.
I didn't take notes on The Princess Bride, and I really should have.
So I guess we're going to have like a very formal introduction to this episode.
Yes.
So just to let everyone know before you get into the thick of things, of course, Lauren wasn't here last week.
No, I'm not caught up on the lore.
We had a whole big like episode planned. 2 movies like normal.
Mm-hmm.
The new normal. # new normal.
Wow.
And we both liked both the movies. We'll tell you that much up front.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then like we hesitated to record like the Sunday, like a week before we should have.
Yeah.
And
we were
that
like, no,
was
we'll
the
just
mistake.
do it later.
That was the mistake. And because it was just going to be originally, it was just going to be Baldur's Gate 3 and Ninja Turtles. And that was it. And then we'd be done.
Mm-hmm.
And so we stretched it out and we were like, okay, we're going to do more then. And then the night that we were going to record, Lauren had a fever. And I already talked about that last time.
Yeah.
So today on The Good Screen, we are going to be talking about The Princess Bride, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mutant Mayhem. We're going to talk about the rest of The Bear because we finished watching that.
Yep.
We're also going to talk about the video game Baldur's Gate 3, which is pretty much a TV show. And we also might touch upon another show you were watching.
Yeah, that I've been watching.
Yeah.
I watched it while I was sick.
So, yeah, let's go ahead and start the show.
Let's get right into it.
Let's do it. All right, Lauren. What have you been enjoying on The Good Screen?
Should I save Baldur's Gate for later?
We'll do that at the end.
I'll just mention I've been enjoying it very thoroughly.
Yeah.
I plan on playing it tonight, actually, after we're done with... Actually, no, I'm not. I have to get up early tomorrow.
Yeah. You're stuck with me.
No!
At the 10 o'clock bedtime.
I was going to go to bed at 12.
Maybe even later.
So maybe I will stay up.
We're going to be here for a while, so...
Anyways, I've been enjoying Baldur's Gate 3, but we'll talk about that later.
Right. As in, like, when we get to the end of this portion. Yeah.
And I have also been enjoying, while I was sick last week.
Yes.
I was looking for something to watch that was kind of like, I didn't have to think about or care about later. And so I chose Outlander to watch.
Yep.
Because it was just the first thing recommended to me on Netflix. And I was like, I know 45-year-old women love this shit.
You've completed your metamorphosis. You're sewing. You're watching Outlander. You're reading a book about werewolves.
Yeah.
Is that going to be your Screenless Shoutout? I can cut this part out. Have you thought about the Screenless Shoutout?
I totally forgot I even read that book. Yeah, you cut that part out.
All right.
You can say the metamorphosis part, though.
We're both like looking at each other like we know that I'm not going to cut it out.
Yeah.
I thoroughly edit the podcast. Well, last week I didn't edit it at all. That was all raw.
Mm.
And I thoroughly edited it, though. Like, I listened to the whole thing through.
Yeah.
And I get all the ums. Well, I don't get all of them. I get most of them.
I did that one just for you.
Yeah, well, guess what? I was talking. If I'm talking over it, I can't get rid of the
Perfect.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, what do you think about Outlander?
I thought it was everything I expected, but it had a lot more sex than I thought.
Yeah,
like
so
a lot of sex and also a lot of sexual assault.
A lot of rape.
Yeah, and
like, all right, I'm not even joking. I'm gonna interject here. When Lauren watches stuff like this, I'm usually working like right behind her.
I was working the whole time.
In one single day, both times I looked over, this woman was being held at knife point and about to get gangbanged or like cucked, or her husband was gonna be cucked by like two other dudes or one other dude. Mm-hmm. In like the same, probably 2 episodes in a row. And I was like, what?
Yeah.
Like, is there anything else in the show?
That's just how things were in 1743 in Scotland.
Yeah, and so what's the story? We already kind of made it seem like you're watching softcore porn, but...
I mean, it kind of is. That's what the old...
It's on Netflix.
That's what the old women want. So, the plot of the story, so it's based off a book, for one.
Called Outlander,
and there's like 10 books.
What? That's a lot of sex.
Yes. And so the plot is that, so there's this woman named Claire. She's married to this man named Richard? I forgot what the husband's name was. Frank. Frank. Because I remember the scene where she's yelling, Frank!
Yeah.
And I was thinking of hot dogs.
Wow.
And so,
I was thinking of hot sauce.
Oh, Frank's Red Hot.
Yeah.
I was thinking of Be Frank's.
What if you put Frank's Red Hot on a Frank?
That sounds... Maybe if it's like mixed in with the ketchup, that'd be kind of good.
Frank's Red Hot French?
Ballpark Red Hot Franks.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, anyways. We found out we're bringing a meat day next year.
Well, we brought hot dogs this year.
We'll bring them again different.
Yeah. Okay, go on.
So Claire and her husband Frank are having like a second honeymoon type thing. This is like right after World War II. She was on the front lines as a nurse. He worked in like spy stuff.
Espionage.
So he wasn't on the front lines, but he was heavily involved with the war.
Okay.
And so after the war is over and they reunite, they decide to go on a second honeymoon to Scotland to get to know each other again after being apart for like 5 years and only seeing each other like twice during that whole time.
Yeah.
So they go to the town in Scotland. I forget what it's called. And so her husband's also there to investigate his ancestors because one of his direct descendants was stationed there.
Yeah.
In the 1700s. I think his name is Richard. I don't remember.
Okay.
But so he's there to do like historical digging up of him just because he's curious, but also there to spend time with his wife and like have sex everywhere. And she's kind of just vibing. And she's really into like flowers and stuff. And so one day when they go to this, so one early morning, Frank is like, let's go to these local rocks called Craignadoon. And so they go there really in the early morning to see it.
These local rocks.
Let's
go to this historically significant ancient rock formation.
Yeah.
Is that what you meant to say?
Yes, actually. Can you like clip
the local rocks?
Can you edit that in?
I don't think so. She went to the local rocks and she loved them.
And so
she had sex on them.
No, she hasn't.
Not yet.
Not yet.
That's how she gets back, I bet.
Stop. And so her husband also hears about how they're like local druids that go perform rituals there.
Oh.
So they go in like the really early morning hours to go see these druids like go do their thing. It's also Samhain, which is Halloween.
Okay.
And the like owner of the bed and breakfast they're at keeps talking about like, oh, it's Samhain, you best be looking out for all the ghosties. And
get to the point.
I'm trying. Anyways, So it's like the spirit realm is already thin because it's Samhain, and so they go see the druids do their thing, and Claire like feels the magic, and she also sees these pretty flowers, and so later she goes back to look at these flowers because she couldn't tell what they were, and while she was looking at the flowers, she felt the biggest rock like calling to her, so she goes and she puts her hands on the rock, and she gets transported back to 1743, and she ends up being in the middle of a feud between the British Army and the Jacobites. And she is kind of put on the like Scottish Jacobite side of things because they were nicer to her. Well, they kind of like just captured her at first and she just accepted it. And they were like, you're actually a really good healer, so you're going to actually stay here permanently. Like, you're not allowed to leave. Even though she really wants to go back to Crane Dune to try to get back to her
I think the term is medic in true fantasy settings.
Yeah, like they don't know what a nurse means. That
or nurse.
Yeah, like when she told them they were a nurse, they thought she meant a wet nurse.
Oh.
Yeah, but she's like a medic. They consider her to be like a shaman or whatever.
Interesting.
So, there's one to cut out for you.
Thank you so much.
I'm sorry. I'm thinking. So she becomes their medic, and then she also is like, in order to save her from being taken by the British, because she like is British, like she has a British accent and stuff. So the British Army thinks that she's being held captive.
Oh.
Which she kind of is, but they don't want them to know that. And so in order to avoid that, but also to save the skin of this other guy that's there who's named Jamie, he's wanted by the British Army for a crime he didn't commit.
Oh.
And Claire and Jamie are forced to marry, but it turns out they actually really like each other and they love to fuck.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah.
Is she cheating on her husband then?
So funny thing about that is when her and her husband are like at the Airbnb, or not the bed and breakfast.
in 1945.
In 1945, they're at their Airbnb.
Or I guess like what would that be, 47?
No, the war ended in 45.
It ended in 45? Oh, okay, 45.
Yeah, so like 45 or 46, whatever.
They went online.
Yeah, they booked their Airbnb.
Yeah.
And so when they're at their B&B, he is talking to her, and he basically says like, I would understand if during our time apart, if you like sought comfort.
Oh,
and she was upset at first. She was like, are you accusing me of cheating on you? Because I would never do that. He was like,
yeah, right.
Yeah. And he was like, no, I'm not, but I'm just saying if you did, it'd be fine. Yeah. He was like, I didn't do it, but I'm just telling you if you did do it, I would understand because it was hard out there on the front lines. And she was like,
okay, I'll keep that in mind when I time travel.
Yeah, she was like, I'll keep that in the back of my mind. And so she feels guilty at first, but his dick's just too good. So, yeah, I got like 10 episodes in. I don't know if I'll continue watching it or not, but
too horny.
It's tantalizing. So, yeah, that's what I've been enjoying on the good screen.
You know, it's kind of funny to me, like, thinking of a show like that has, like, a strange, like, magic thing going on.
There's also, like, 6 seasons, and it's still going.
Yeah, but, like, at the same time, like, it's, like, set in, like, the real world.
Yeah, it's set in like real history.
You got to think of like how much they can use that whole time travel thing and like the druids for like events in the world happening, or that I guess in Europe happening. Mm-hmm. So that is kind of interesting. It's a shame there's so much. I mean, it's not a bad thing, but like it's the same. It's just a horny show.
Its target audience is women in their mid 40s or 50s who are unhappy in their marriages. So
recently divorced.
Huh. So.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, when you go see it in bookstores, it's next to all the Fabio books.
Really?
Yeah.
It's
like a whole genre.
I almost read that book.
My mom read like all those kinds of books about like the Scottish Highlander that whisks me off my feet
Temptation
and
in a Kilt.
Fucks me raw every day.
Temptation in a Kilt is my favorite one.
Yeah, stuff like that. Also, speaking of, I was at the Ren Fair this weekend, which I guess I was going to talk about later.
Ren stands for Renaissance.
Thank you, Russell. And I almost bought Russell a kilt just so he'd have to wear it.
I'm not Scottish.
It doesn't matter. You go to the Ren Fair in a kilt.
Okay.
You have your balls out.
Are your balls, like, out in a kilt?
Yeah, there's nothing under there.
You had to wear boxers, right?
No.
Oh. Well, okay.
Does that change things?
No. I'd be scared that they get loose.
Are they going to run away?
They're going to run away.
Roll away?
Yeah.
I'm good. So there are 2 different kinds of kilts they actually sell. There's like the regular kind.
Assless chaps.
Assless chap kilt. Yeah. But there's also like cargo shorts ones.
Oh. I don't want those.
I wanted to get you those.
No.
I thought it'd be
I've
funny.
graduated from cargo shorts. I wear beach shorts now.
All right. I'll just get you a regular kilt and like a big flowy white shirt so you could look like
Fabio.
my Scottish Highlander.
I'm not Scottish.
Your beard's red.
My beard is red.
You pass. It doesn't matter. It's the fucking Ren Fair.
Yeah.
Anyways, what have you been enjoying on the good screen?
Well, Lauren, I'll tell you what I've been enjoying on the good screen.
Good, because I asked you.
I was playing Baldur's Gate 3. It's been so long since we've had this podcast together that I have played and I've been overwhelmed by Baldur's Gate 3 and I've moved on.
It is overwhelming.
We will talk about that in a minute. But however, I finally got around to getting 2 new games.
Wow.
I got A Story of Seasons, A Wonderful Life.
We got the goat.
Which is the remake of Harvest Moon: A Wonderful Life. I've not played that yet. But I also got another game by the same publisher, Exceed, or Marvelous, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
And it is Trinity Trigger. It is
Yeah.
a very, very different game from Baldur's Gate 3, and it is just what I need.
Ew.
Ew. It is similar to... It's kind of like a dungeon crawly action role-playing game. It is similar to Secret of Mana. And,
Trials of Mana?
Yeah, and Trials of Mana in that way. But also similar to like some of the Ease games back in the day, especially the ones not back in the day, I shouldn't say that. It's kind of like a version of Ease, but they have like a party system too. So it's similar to that, and it is a turn your brain off, silly fantasy story, typical Japanese role playing game. Love it.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just need like that little game, you know?
I mean, that's kind of what the Outlander was for my brain too.
Yeah, just turn it all off. Fight some things.
Yeah.
Don't think too hard about it. I will say, though, I was enjoying the dub. Of all things. I thought the voice acting in it was good. It's a Japanese game.
It was funny.
It was funny.
It's not it's not cringy.
Yeah, it's not cringy. They definitely tried. I don't know, maybe like later in the game when things get like emotional, like maybe they won't be able to pull that off.
Yeah.
But at this point in the game, like it's still pretty silly. There's weird, stupid fantasy stuff going on. The artwork for the characters is amazing. I don't know who the artist is, but it looks kind of familiar. And it's very good. So the game revolves around this world that is constantly there are these gods who are constantly at war, and they decided they don't want to be at war anymore, so they make like champions or whatever to fight the wars for them, and it becomes like a proxy war.
Wow.
And
Just
so
like in real life.
So definitely something's like prophesized for your main character or whatever.
Yeah.
And you have to go around and you're trying to make this stop. You're trying to figure out why they do this. And that's all I really know so far. I played for like an hour and a half.
Yeah.
But I really like it. I know it's like there's a typical amnesia. Oh, this character has amnesia. Oh, this character is definitely holding something back.
They did say it.
They did say that.
And then I turned to you and said, "Have you played the new Cold Steel game yet?" And you said, "Oh fuck,
I completely
forgot
about it." It's just been such a crazy year.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is a great game. I'm probably not done playing Baldur's Gate 3 we'll talk about it in a minute. I have a weird take on it.
You do.
But it's nice to play like a simple game like this again after 40 hours of Baldur's Gate 3. What?
I'm looking at Russell and I got McDonald's for dinner tonight.
Yeah.
because we wanted to get the Squishmallow Happy Meal, but they only had Nerf. Anyways, I'm looking at the cup, and it says the McDonald's cup, as featured in Space Jam, The Office, Seinfeld, The Boyfriend, Brief Answers to the Big Questions by Stephen Hawking, The Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift, Loki Season 2, and then other stuff that I don't know.
What? All right, let's not drip water on the audio interface first of all. Let's not do that.
You took my cup away.
You lifted it over.
I was showing you what it said.
Yeah, I took your cup away because you were dripping water on the audio interface that cost $200.
Right. Anyways.
So I'm enjoying Trinity Trigger.
Great.
And I'll probably play it until Starfield comes out.
Great.
2 weeks away.
Yeah.
So, I talked about this a little bit with you.
Mm-hmm.
Last year, like, the big game was Elden Ring.
Yeah.
And that was, like, that was it. That was the experience for the gamers. There were other games that came out, too. Like, there was... Pokemon. But, like, Elden Ring was, like, the perfect game.
Yeah, that was
God of War.
Ugh. God of Snore.
God of Snore. There were a lot of good games last year, but Elden Ring was like the event.
Mm-hmm.
This year, there have been 4 of those so far. There was Hogwarts.
Mm-hmm.
There was Zelda.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be Starfield.
Yeah.
I feel like that's going to be another one. Really, really close to Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah.
And there's Baldur's Gate 3.
Mm-hmm.
So we've been playing a lot of Baldur's Gate number 3.
I feel like I've played more than you.
I've played 40 hours. However...
Oh, maybe you have played more than me.
I've restarted a billion times.
I had like 30 hours on my save, but I restarted a lot in the beginning, but then I found a good groove and I haven't had to restart in a while. Also, I've been saving religiously, so...
Yeah. So, this is totally new to me. Like, my background is I've never played Dungeons & Dragons. I've never played any Baldur's Gate games.
Mm-hmm.
I never played Neverwinter Nights 2 or 1.
The last Baldur's Gate game before this came out in like 2006.
That wasn't like that was a spin-off too.
Yeah, the other game that the developer did that a lot of the mechanics came from this. What was it called?
Divinity Original Sin 2. Yeah. And that was a big game for like the PC audience.
Mm-hmm.
Not politically correct. Personal computer.
Personal computer.
Yeah, it's not a PC game.
You know, I used to think PC stood for portable computer, and I was like, that makes no sense.
Wow. What do you think laptop stood for?
Laughing on these nuts.
No, that's lap schlop. Anyways, so Larian was a pretty well-known studio, or is a well-known studio in like, they make computer. They're called CRPGs. Did you know that?
That doesn't stand for.
It stands for
crap?
computer. It stands for computer. So
that doesn't stand for crapping.
Crapping.
Really poopy. Gross.
Shit. Say it again.
Crappy, really poopy, gross.
No, Lauren. It doesn't stand for crapping, really poopy, gross. It stands for computer role-playing game.
Oh, that makes so much more sense.
Yeah. So, I never got the bug for crappy, really poopy, gross.
You know, there are no bugs in space.
Yeah, there are no bugs in space. So I went down, you know that meme where the kid has the 2 paths to go down?
Yeah.
And one of them's dark and one of them's bright.
Mm-hmm.
I went down the dark one with the anime role-playing
With
games.
the JRPG.
With the JRPGs.
Which is juicy. Juicy, ripe. Juicy, ripe. Piss gallons.
Yeah. Yeah, I went down the juicy ripe piss gallons, Lauren. And so this is all new to me. Lauren has played Dungeons and Dragons.
Yes, and this is making me want to play again. My I don't know if I've talked about it on the podcast before. My one and only experience playing Dungeons and Dragons in person, because I've watched Critical Role and stuff.
Oh, you've also watched that. That's big to know too.
I've watched that. I watched the McElroy brothers with the Adventure Zone, which was a lot of fun. I listened to it rather as a podcast of Dungeons and Dragons that they did.
Yeah.
So I know Dungeons and Dragons.
I know. What do you think? What does D&D stand for?
It stands for
Dicks and Dongs.
It stands for Dookie and Dung.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, go on.
So yeah, I know D&D culture. I know D&D people. I mean, I don't know gross ones, but so I did play in a campaign briefly. I was in it for a couple months. We would meet once a week.
Yeah.
It was a friend of a friend, but I just didn't fit into their friend group well. I would always ask, my biggest thing, the reason why I ended up leaving, because it ended up giving me really weird vibes the longer I thought about it.
Okay.
Was I would always ask them, hey, I'm stopping by Wawa before I come over, let me know if you want anything. And then I would pick up stuff for them, they'd Venmo me back or whatever. But then they would go and get food, but they never asked me what I wanted.
Oh.
So
I thought you were going to tell me they refused Wawa, and I would be like, get out of there.
No. They usually ask for soda or whatever, nothing crazy.
Whoa, yeah. Maybe they just didn't know what Wawa was.
They live 5 minutes that way. They know what Wawa is.
Yeah, but some people don't go to it. Do you know that?
Yeah, I think that could be true. I don't know. Maybe they're Sheets people.
That might be it.
Oh my god. The real red flag.
Dodge that one.
Yeah, but so I also had school at the time. It was my first semester of college.
Yeah, you were really busy.
I did genuinely leave so I could focus on school more. Yeah. But that was also the second reason.
You got a full campaign.
I got a good portion of the campaign in.
Yeah.
It was a lot of fun, and I genuinely am seeking playing it again in real life, or maybe at least online, because there's ways you could play it online.
Yeah.
But I just don't know anyone to play with.
You can play this game, Baldur's Gate 3, with some friends.
I played it with my brother.
Yeah.
The only thing is, I just don't want to restart at the beginning of the fucking game each time.
Yeah, so
because I'm already so far. And it'd be fun to do another campaign. So Skyward, do you want to start a D&D thing on your server?
That'd be awesome.
Let's start probing about that. I know I haven't been playing Stardew, but I will make time for D&D. But also, it'd have to be fit around my schedule.
Yeah.
So either very late at night, probably just really late at night, and I'll just stay up.
Okay.
Really late at night my time.
Your time. Our time. Your time. Yeah, it's different time for me right now, even though we're sitting next to each other.
Yeah, this is midday for me.
Yeah, it's morning now for me.
What?
Yeah.
No, it's your nighttime. It's your bedtime.
I was Anyways.
Are you joking?
I'm joking.
Oh, no, it's my midday right now. I still have...
It is a few
another
hours before I go to bed.
7 hours until I usually go to bed.
Okay. What's your battery life look like on your, not on your phone, on your computer?
47?
Okay. So, let's talk about our experience playing Baldur's Gate 3.
Yes.
So, do you mind if I go first?
No, because you started playing before I did.
Okay, so I bought Baldur's Gate 3 almost 3 weeks ago now. Mm-hmm. And I knew nothing about it. I watched a little bit of a Let's Play on YouTube, and I was like, this looks like fun. Mm-hmm. So I got it the second it came out. Literally the second it was available. Because I wishlisted it, and then it was it's available on Steam. Even though it had an early access period of almost 3 years.
Yeah.
Which is important for why it's good.
Yeah.
I never played it. I didn't know anything about it. And I watched 10 minutes, and I was like, this is going to be fun. Mm-hmm. This is going to be worth the money, and it looks like they put a lot of time and effort in this game. So I started the game, and I instantly realized that there was a lot to do. Mm-hmm. There was a lot of choices to be made. I'm an insanely indecisive person. So it was very tough for me to make a character. And, of course, the first character I made was a wizard.
Yeah.
And wizards aren't the greatest class to have around.
It's a hard class to play if it's your first time playing.
Yeah.
And also if you're not like in an in-person setting where they can kind of like skirt around you being a glass cannon.
Yeah.
I'm going to get a glass so I can get water. Keep talking.
Okay. So I went through this, like, I played for a few hours. I got to the first big area, the first big town, and like all these conflicts. And there was so much going on. And I was like, no, this is too much. I'm going to make a different character. So I made a fighter. And then I was like, no, you know what? I'll try the wizard again. So I went back. I made another wizard. No, wait. Did I make another? Yeah, I did.
I thought you just went back to the Rizmaster.
No, I went to another wizard, which was a Dragonborn wizard, which I thought was hilarious. And I built him like a wizard because my original one was a Riz wizard. And
which isn't really what you want as a wizard.
No. And I played decently far with the Dragonborn wizard. And
you know, it's a good class to play if you want to be Riz.
What?
Bard.
Yeah,
or Rogue.
Or Paladin. And I played decently far. I got up to the Goblin area, like fighting the Goblin people. Yeah. And I was like, wow, I can't fight anything because I had him and Gale in the party.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, I'm losing really bad. This sucks. So I made a fighter, and then it kind of stuck because I made a basic fighter who hit things with his big sword. I got the big sword from the demon guy in the beginning. And I was also, when I was playing as a wizard, I was reloading like a lot. A lot. And I decided for my current playthrough, and the one I'll probably eventually one day finish, I'm only reloading if I fail a battle. Because that happens a lot.
I'm kind of on the same page too.
Yeah. And honestly, like, if you can party wipe and then just go, well, it does give you a game over if you lose everyone.
It does.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what happens when you're actually playing.
Yeah. I actually know. I ended my wizard run because Lazelle, the Githyanki girl, woman, I failed. She tried to kill me in my sleep, and I failed the strength check to like push her off of me, and the persuasion thing for her not to kill me. Yeah. And she killed me, and I didn't have any reviving things on me, and I didn't know, like, if I could go to another character because that was my main character, and I fully died. I couldn't revive him, and I was like, all right, that was my first playthrough. Yeah. So, but no, I'm in Act 2. I made it to Act 2, and I think it's like definitely like a huge step forward. I think it's a great game. It's just so much, especially for someone who's like completely uninitiated, doesn't have all the time in the world to like fully invest. Like, I don't want to just like, personal thing. I have a sty right now, and I shouldn't be looking at my computer screen all day. So like, if I'm playing a game, I need to play something that's like not gonna like suck up my entire evening. Although that's getting better and it's addressed now anyway. But I was having some serious eye strain issues, and I was working all day, and then I would talk about too much good screen. And then I'd get on my computer and play Baldur's Gate for like 4 hours, and I was like, wow, I can't do that anymore. So, and the big thing for me is Starfield is coming out in 2 weeks, and that's gonna be it. That's gonna be the game for me. So I do think it's great. I'll probably get back to it later, like maybe like winter time when I'm snowed in or something. It sounds like a good, but middle of summer, I don't want to be like playing this game all weekend in the middle of the summer. I want to go outside. I want to see my friends. And the last like few weekends, it was just like, I guess I'll play Baldur's Gate, which was nice, but like I've seen enough to be like, yeah, this is amazing. And I just like, for me personally, like I would recommend it to everyone. It's definitely a good screen. Yeah. But just make sure you have the time, because it is a bulky screen.
Bulky screen.
Bulky screen.
Okay.
Yeah, and I just finished Zelda, and I was still kind of like looking for a shorter game to play after that, and failing miserably.
Yeah, that's not this game.
Not this game. And have to play Trails into Reverie still. Just too many games. All right, Lauren, what has your experience been like?
My experience has been largely fun.
Okay.
I've only had one character this whole time.
Right.
She is a half-elf ranger named Bee.
Bee.
Yeah, and her hair looks like a fall leaf. It's like orange and yellow.
Yeah.
I did that on purpose. And my first time playing it, like I sat down, like you
played for 9 hours.
You were Steam sharing it to or whatever to the TV.
Yeah, Steam
linking it to the TV. And I did not intentionally sit down and play it for 10 hours, but I did.
You did.
And pretty much all that time ended up being wasted because I reloaded back to pretty much the beginning and like redid everything.
I did a lot of that too.
Well, it's because I didn't know what I was doing.
Yeah.
And so eventually I got into a really good groove of things. The hardest part is leveling up. And it's important to do all the things in all the areas.
Yeah.
Like before you go forward. Like I originally didn't want to go down to the swamp. But I
didn't go to the swamp still.
Well, I did because I wanted to level up.
Yeah.
So I went down there just to get experience for leveling up. I also was really stumped with the goblin thing for a while because I didn't feel like I was high enough level, which is why I went down to the swamp. And I did level up, and it was a lot easier. Yeah, so like I've already played D&D, so I know kind of how the stories work.
Yeah.
I know how the gameplay works.
Yeah.
And I really am captivated by like how beautifully they've captured it all.
It's all voice acted.
It's all 100% voice acted.
It's all motion captured.
I'm sorry. Talking so much, my cough seems to be coming back.
Oh, great.
It's amazing. I've been laughing so much at all the things we've been seeing online.
Yeah.
About how a certain breed of gamer is very mad about this game because they're like, now all the other games are going to be held up to the standard about it being so perfect.
Good.
And it's like, yes, like there should not be like patches every single day when a game comes out to fix all the bugs.
Yeah.
There should not, like with Fallout 76 or whatever, there should not be no story when it comes out, right? Like,
or downloadable pay to win stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like all that is so bullshit. And so what's the developer's name again?
Larian,
I like read a thing about how they went out of their way to make it so that there was like no microtransactions.
Yeah.
No purchasable DLC, none of that because they just wanted all of it to be in the game anyways.
The microtransaction was the probably millions of, I don't want to say millions, but hundreds of thousands of people who bought it early and played a little bit of it.
Yeah. And they took so much of the feedback from those 3 years when it was in like early access to make it such an amazing game.
Yeah.
And like expand upon the world and all the characters or anything. Because I could imagine if you went back and watched gameplay of like when it first came out in early access.
Oh, the menus and everything look completely different.
Yeah.
I saw it.
Like it's so different. And so they worked upon like that to evolve it into what it is now for like large release or whatever you want to call it. And now
large release. And
now gamers are getting mad because it's so perfect. And it's like you should hold developers to the standard.
Yeah.
Because like the thing is about the developer too, like they pay licensing rights for the Dungeons and Dragons stuff.
Yeah,
like
and they
don't
like
pay
huge.
Like Wizards of the Coast doesn't pay them for it.
Yeah.
Larian pays them for the rights and everything.
Yeah.
And like they've like created this whole world. I mean, some of the places like Candlekeep.
I think Wizards might pay them
and Baldur's
next time.
Gate, but they might. So like the places like do exist in like Dungeons and Dragons lore as well. Like Candlekeep and Baldur's Gate like exist.
Yeah, the Sword Coast.
The Sword Coast. It all exists in the Dungeons and Dragons lore.
Yeah.
So I just love seeing it brought to life so vividly.
Yeah, it's very nice.
Yeah, and I love the cast of characters.
Yeah.
I still need to go find Gale.
Who's your party? Who's your like go-to party?
My party right now is Shadowheart, Astarion, and Karlach.
Okay. My party is usually Shadowheart, Gale, and Astarion.
If I had Gale, I'd probably have him instead of Astarion.
He just dies. He dies a lot.
Well, I don't know. I know he's fun.
Yeah, but he is fun.
Yeah, and I am trying to romance Shadowheart.
Oh, yeah, who isn't?
Yeah.
Shadowheart is the cleric with and she has amnesia, so kind of like a Japanese role-playing game.
Kind of amnesia.
Yeah, she
it's
wiped
like
her memories.
Willing amnesia.
Yeah, every character is super deep, and if you're looking for like, we're not gonna like spoil anything because this is like we spoil a few. Well, not really spoil.
We spoil movies and stuff. We're not gonna spoil.
We're not gonna spoil this because this is just something we're enjoying. And,
yeah.
I'm sure a lot of people on the podcast. I don't even think. Well, it's coming out on PS5 very soon.
Yeah. So.
And the thing, everyone I know who has a PS5 is like in the same situation that I am. Also, not to mention this, like part of the reason why like I'm kind of hesitant to play it a lot is because I think my computer's going.
Yeah.
And I don't think this game is helping.
Wrong with your computer.
It's blue screening regardless if I'm playing this game or not. Mm-hmm. But for me, the game has crashed once or twice.
It hasn't crashed for me yet.
And it is, my PC has like flat out blue screen while playing the game 3 times.
Oh, that has yet to happen to me.
Yeah.
I also only play it for like an hour.
Yeah. So I'm a little hesitant to like fully get into it, and my poor computer.
The other thing about this game too is kind of like how people ended up learning their lesson with Animal Crossing New Leaf.
Yeah.
This game is best enjoyed in like 1 or 2 hour bouts.
Yeah. Right before bed.
Yeah, just like with a real Dungeons and Dragons campaign, like you only play for a few hours. Yeah. You don't sit there. Well, some campaigns do sit there and play for like 10 hours because they only meet like once a month.
Yeah.
But mostly it's like...
I could see this game being very frustrating, like if you just play it all day long.
Yeah, or like tiring.
Because it's not like the random...
eventually.
It's not like there's random battles or anything. Every battle, like every fight has like a different like, surprise, here, this person's going to do this to you now.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh wow, I didn't expect that. I should probably reload and...
Do you know what my like go-to thing is?
What?
So B has the... like ensnaring vines thing that they can do like ranged, like as a ranger with they shoot the gun and no, she shoots the arrows, and it's like a spell where it like entwists the victim in like vines so they can't move, and they also have
immobilizes them.
Yeah, they have we have advantage then, and they have disadvantage.
Oh, okay.
And so that helps a lot with boss fights.
Yeah. Okay. I just use Hunter's Mark.
That's good too.
Yeah.
I just got that. I
got a piece of armor that has it on it.
I got it as a like level 5 spell.
Oh.
Or like not a level 5 spell. No, because there's spell slots up to level... Are there level 4 spell slots? I forget what...
There are level 4s. I think. I
just got level 3 spell slots.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, so again, going back to the computer, like mostly everyone I know is playing it on like aging computer hardware. I know Tyler is.
John
is not.
No, John's is new.
John's is newer. Someone else, someone I work with, I think. And we're all like, yeah, I'm going to get this for PS5 too.
Yeah.
So I feel like once it hits PS5 and like all the non-PC non-computer people play the RPG on the not computer, the CRPG on the not computer.
Yeah.
I think it's going to get even more popular. Or you'll get more people with that mentality of like that games being held at the higher standard.
Yeah.
And then the rating goes down.
I don't think so.
I don't think so either.
I think we were looking at... What was it you were on? Looking at the rating just now?
Metacritic.
It went
down
there's no
point.
bad. There was only one bad review we saw.
And it was obviously someone trolling.
It was a fucking.
He did make a good point that he said a game isn't enjoyable if you have to save and reload to enjoy it to its fullest extent.
Yeah, but then I made the point that like with the new like Nintendo retro games you could play,
you can rewind time.
You can
too.
Literally rewind it and redo something over again.
He also said I'd rather play basketball than chess, which I thought was hilarious. Anyway, so that's Baldur's Gate 3.
Yeah.
A game we're both very enjoying.
I give it a very good screen.
I give it a very good screen too.
Yeah.
It's just a shame that too many games are coming out and I had to prioritize other stuff.
Yeah.
And
also,
my computer.
Skyward, let me know about the Dungeons and Dragons thing.
Yeah.
I would not be willing to DM it, but I would definitely be willing to play. So if someone in your server is willing to DM it, I'd be so down to help organize it and participate.
Okay.
It sounds fun.
It does sound like fun.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, let's go ahead and since we've talked about what we've been enjoying on the good screen, we are ready to talk about movies.
Yay!
We went to the movie theater almost a month ago now.
Literally like 3 weeks ago.
3 weeks ago. And we went to go see Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem. It is the newest Ninja Turtles movie.
Yes.
It was directed by... It was not directed by... It was executive produced by Seth Rogen, and he did the screenplay as well. I'm trying to pull up my notes. Hold on. Let me start that over.
Okay.
Okay. So the newest Ninja Turtles movie.
Yeah.
It was directed by Jeff Rowe. He also directed The Mitchells versus the Machines.
Okay. I heard that was good.
I heard that was good too, but I haven't watched it. And he wrote a few episodes of Gravity Falls.
Oh, okay.
That was probably the most notorious thing I found on his Wikipedia page.
All right. Well, he's got a really good first start.
Yeah. Seth Rogen did the screenplay. He did the screenplay and executive produced and did a voice.
Yeah.
Okay, this movie is starring Micah Abbey, Shaman Brown Jr., Nicholas Cantu, and Brady Noon as Donatello, Michelangelo, Leonardo, and Raphael, respectively.
Mm-hmm. Is this like their first roles?
2 of them, it's their first roles. The other 2 were in other movies before this, I think.
Okay.
Don't ask me which ones were and which ones weren't.
Okay.
I just know that 2 of them, this was their first role. They wanted to make it a point that this is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I'll get back to that later. So they got teenagers.
Which, honestly, I love.
Yeah,
I
thought
also
it was
just love how the voice acting was mostly largely done by, like, non-prolific actors.
Oh, wait.
Except the one.
Oh, wait.
Wait, other than Seth Rogen?
You did not...
And what's your name?
Yeah. Yeah, you did not pay attention at the credits of this movie.
No, why would I? Fuck the credits.
Okay. All right. So it also stars Ayo Edebiri as April O'Neil. She was Sydney in The Bear, which we'll talk about after this probably. John Cena as Rocksteady.
What?
Seth Rogen as Bebop. Jackie Chan as Splinter. Ice Cube as Superfly. Post Malone was Ray Fillet.
What the fuck?
But he used the stage name. And many other celebrity voices. There were even more. Paul Rudd was also a voice of one of the goons. Yeah. Like, I thought this was like, oh, wow, like, new voice actors. And then, like, everybody else is, like, an A-list celebrity.
Oh, no.
However,
I was bamboozled.
You would never know. You would never know. But I like what they did with the main cast and Jackie Chan being Splinter.
I didn't know Jackie Chan was Splinter.
Yeah. The film was announced in June of 2020. Mm-hmm. It was likely written throughout COVID, so we can't escape this with new movies, really.
No, we're still not going to escape it later.
Rogen went on the record stating it would lean into the teenage part of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Mm-hmm. He said, as a lifelong fan of Ninja Turtles, weirdly the teenage part of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles was always the part that stuck out to me the most. And as someone who loves teenage mutant movies, and who's made a lot of teenage movies, and who literally got their start in the entire profession by writing a teenage movie, which is super bad, I think.
Oh, okay. I never watched that.
We should watch that sometime. The idea of kind of honing in on that element was really exciting to us. I mean, not disregarding the rest, but really using that as a kind of jumping off point for the film. And it was a, coming of age, like, it was definitely,
it was like an acceptance movie.
It definitely felt like it was for teenagers, and
yeah,
the characters were Teenage Turtles.
Yeah.
Which you can't say the same for like the Michael Bay movie or like even the original one.
Yeah.
Because like they just didn't look like teenagers. They look like teenagers in this.
Yeah, they look like dorky little teenagers.
Like the Michael Bay ones are roided up.
Yeah, I didn't like those.
I
never saw them, but I really didn't like them.
The current cartoon is more like Teenage Turtles. Mm-hmm. But the one when I was a kid, which another bullet dodge, like Transformers and Ninja Turtles were around when I was a kid, but it was newer things like Transformers Armada or the Fox Ninja Turtle show.
Yeah.
But even those Ninja Turtles were like, they never gave me the teenage vibes. They looked like adults.
And then they did
adult turtles.
Who was it? You know how like the Sonic movie, they were originally ugly, and it was made. And like before that, the same guy did the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles movie, and they looked like fucking weirdos.
Sure. Did he?
Yes.
Okay.
Like
the TMNT movie, the first, but those they looked like teenagers though.
No, they didn't.
They didn't? Oh,
no,
anyway.
They looked like gross.
All right. So
scary.
This is the first time all four turtles were portrayed by teenage actors. So
revelation.
Leaning in on the inspiring new talent.
Yeah.
Apparently casting Jackie Chan and Ice Cube was very easy to do.
Mm-hmm. I mean, Ice Cube's down for anything.
Yeah. The art style was inspired by director Rose, school notebooks, and more so by Spider-Verse and Puss in Boots and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. Probably less Puss in Boots because that was in development
a lot more recent.
The score was composed by Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross. They both also worked on the Social Network score. Do you know who Trent Reznor is?
No.
He's like the singer and like the band part of Nine Inch Nails, like the writer of Nine Inch Nails.
He writes the songs?
Yes.
Does he sing the songs?
He sings the songs too.
Okay.
But he went on to do like some movie stuff. He did The Social Network and he did Girl with the Dragon Tattoo.
I don't know either of those.
You don't know either of them? Anyway, but he did this movie too. He did Ninja Turtles too.
Wow.
He's a dark, brooding dude and he did the Ninja Turtles movie.
I mean, yeah, he's 9 Inch Nails man.
Yeah, 9 Inch Nails. I wonder what he likes for breakfast.
Corn?
Yes, he likes corn. He loves corn for breakfast. Like his song, he's like, "You get me closer to corn." Oh, cob. No. Cob. I ruined that joke.
It was a bad joke to
Can
begin with.
I do that again? Excuse me, I'm gonna cut that out. What does he like for breakfast, Lauren?
Corn?
No.
Cob? Was I supposed to say cobs?
No. All right, that was stupid. Okay. You get me closer to corn.
You get me closer to corn.
But cob makes so much sense because the word is like God.
Yeah, but corn is just like an adjacent genre.
Yeah, you get me closer to corn. That face when you get closer to corn. That's every time you get on that road there.
Every time we drive out
closer to corn.
Every time we drive out on the road.
You're gonna crash your car tomorrow because you're getting so close to the corn.
I'm too close to the corn.
You're getting closer to Cobb.
I can't believe we didn't make any jokes about that song when we did Children of the Corn.
What song?
You get me closer to corn. I don't know. We just came up with that
because
joke.
we just came up with. You didn't even know who Trent Reznor or 9 Inch Nails was.
We're gonna go re-record that and include that joke there too.
Okay. What were we talking about again?
Corn. 9 Inch Nails.
9 Inch Nails.
You're trying to make a terrible joke.
All right. So this movie features.
Wait. It's gonna bother me. What's the original punchline to that joke?
What?
What you said? What do they eat for breakfast?
I was just asking you that off the cuff.
Oh.
There's no pun.
Oh, I thought that was
I
like
was
a
just
joke.
Asking you a question about him because you didn't know anything about him. Okay. Anyways, this movie features a lot of hip hop, specifically East Coast hip hop, with many of the songs being ones Rogan and Roe would regularly listen to. It didn't specify if it was in high school or now.
assume then.
I would assume then too. Rogan said the soundtrack was also inspired by Tony Hawk games because he wanted to be varied.
Yeah, it did give me those vibes of like Tony Hawk soundtrack.
Okay, I didn't get that.
Now that I think about it, it does.
This also features the song "What's Up" by Four Non Blondes, and the the He-Man.
That's a different song.
That's a different song. The
He-Man song.
The He-Man remix of "What's Up."
Yeah.
Originally, there was a song by our favorite artist Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross that was in the chase scene there in that part of the movie, which we'll probably talk about later.
Yeah.
But they replaced it with that. Can you imagine like making your own original song? They're like, let's put the meme song in from 2010.
Literally.
I'd be embarrassed.
I mean, it was kind of funny.
It was amazing.
It was really good.
All right. Box office. Ooh. Wait. What?
What?
I copy and pasted something in here in the box office thing that wasn't the right thing. We do not have box office statistics because I did not press copy when I copied the paragraph.
Do you want me to look?
No. It'll be a mystery. Okay. It did really well.
Yeah.
It did really well, and they greenlit sequels and a 2-season TV show on Paramount Plus.
Oh.
We'll see if that happens after the writer's strike. Because I'm pretty sure Seth Rogen's on that picket line.
Yeah.
All right. And returning to the podcast, Lauren, I have 2 Metacritic reviews.
Okay. Go off, King.
The first one is a good review, but not a great review. It's a 7 by Tom Monday.
Okay.
Tom said, "The turtles all talk at once because that's what teenagers do. If you hate this, then burn your copies of The Goonies, which is the same fucking thing. The movie is good. Full stop. Great action, awesome style. Best Turtles movie ever made. I dare any other reviewer to make a claim otherwise. This coming from a kid who saw the first 2 movies in cinema back in the 90s.
So,
but he gave it a 7.
Yeah, I was going to say, what
sounded
did he
more
not
like a
like
9.
that he made it a 7?
Yeah.
All
right.
He should have made a 10.
And then I got one from Vadim Kaspersky. He gave it a 1.
All right.
He said it was a terrible cartoon. Almost everything about it is terrible, except for a couple of good jokes. Who came up with the idea to make the turtles Zoomers and so stereotypical? Bebop and Rocksteady listening to Trap is just what? Maybe the final message about mutual assistance is still nothing, but in general, it all works very poorly. Expectations were higher. So he wanted them to be teenagers, but he didn't want them to be current teenagers.
If current teenagers watch this and it didn't reflect them, they would be like, "What the fuck is this?
This is weird."
What does the guy want it to be teenagers of the 90s? Like, if they want that, then you just watch the cartoon.
40-year-olds,
literally,
or I guess
30,
almost 50. No, teenagers of the 90s would be like almost 50 now.
They'd be my mom's age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah, because my mom graduated the same year you were born.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, his review is not valid.
No, that is so invalid. Like, if you don't like kids, just say it.
Yeah, just stop going to these movies, creep.
Don't go to kids' movies if you don't want to see kids in movies.
All right, Lauren. So now we got to talk about the reviewers that their opinions really matter. Us.
Yes.
Lauren, what did you think about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Mutant Mayhem?
I thought it was astounding.
I loved it.
It was really good.
There was a point in this movie where I leaned over at Lauren. We went to go see it kind of like whatever. You know,
yeah,
we didn't even get our tickets in advance.
On, whatever.
Yeah. We went in and like halfway through the movie, I leaned over to Lauren and I'm like, I love this.
Yeah.
If I was a teenager when this came out, I'd be a converted fan. Mm-hmm. This was great. I thought it was good. Mm-hmm. I thought every Ninja Turtle was distinguishable, which I feel like
that's one of the things I hated when I was watching the cartoon growing up. They all felt the same, but with different voices
and different cloths on their face.
Yeah, they were. Even just visually, they were indistinguishable.
They take their cloths off at the end?
Yeah.
Is that the right word?
They're masks.
Masks? Yeah, they take their cloth off. They take off their little turtle
Stop!
shells.
Stop! Censoring.
Did you ever... this is probably too much, but remember that video on YouTube called Pizza Time? Okay. I don't think it's on YouTube anymore.
This is an audio medium. I shook my head no.
Yeah. So there was this old video on YouTube called Pizza Time, where it was a pizza sitting on the floor.
Okay.
And there were 4 Ninja Turtles, and they all,
No.
onto the pizza. And it was on YouTube.
Were there penises in it?
They were like these like green cylinders that like were supposed to be wieners.
Oh no.
True internet veterans know what I'm talking about. But that was like the only Ninja Turtle thing I knew for a while.
What the fuck?
The fucking Pizza Time video.
No, my parents had like a DVD of one of the old movies for us.
I heard the old movies were pretty good. Like the ones where they were like in suits.
Yeah. Those ones are pretty iconic. Don't you remember when we went to that one comic book store next to the movie theater in Lancaster, and they had some old Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movie on where they're like back in like Edo period Japan?
Oh yeah, that was like the 3rd one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think those movies were all really good. Yeah, this is impossible to find on YouTube nowadays.
Look for it elsewhere.
I will. So, again, I'm kind of interested in it now. Like, I have the Apple Arcade game, which is basically Hades with the Ninja Turtles.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
Yeah, and I was playing that a little bit before this movie came out, not knowing that the movie was coming out.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's pretty cool. But now I'm like, oh, maybe I'll like actually play more of that game. Or like try the one on PS5 or Switch or whatever, the Shredder's Revenge. But yeah, I really liked it. I liked the choices they made with the villains. I like that they didn't choose Shredder.
Yeah, I like how Shredder wasn't the villain of this one, but he's obviously going to be the next one. I liked the art style. I liked how they looked like funky drawings. Like, it wasn't just like how in Spider-Man it's like just got the lines to it.
Yeah.
They looked like chunky drawings, like odd proportions, but they were also unique, and it made it really fun.
Yeah. I just found the video.
Oh, okay.
I'll show it to you later.
Okay.
It's a little more graphic than I thought it was.
Oh.
So,
Yeah.
So yeah, they made it really fun.
Also, another point that I'm thinking of, going back to the guy being upset they're not like teenagers of his day.
Yeah.
Because like teenagers in the 90s had like that Californian Valley Girl thing to it. Or like Michelangelo definitely did.
Yeah.
Kids don't talk like that anymore.
Every kid talks like they're from California now.
No, they don't. I work with kids. They don't talk like that.
They don't talk like that?
No.
Oh. My cousins do.
That's because they live in Reading.
Bold, very bold statement.
No, they're it's not as bad as then. Are you talking about your female cousins?
Yeah.
It's not that bad.
Okay.
That's kind of just
everyone kind of has like the Valley accent now. Not like Valley Girl, but like the
cadence.
The Bay Area.
Yeah.
Not me though. I'm full Pennsylvania.
I don't know what mine is.
I'm full PA Dutch.
I'm from South Carolina, but I don't sound like it, so I don't know.
Yeah, you sound normal. We both have very neutral, according to me.
You thought that I was from like California.
You thought that?
The test.
The test?
It had like an inconclusive result, but mostly California.
Yeah, I remember that. It pinpointed me because I called it a hoagie.
It's a sub for
I called
me.
a sub a hoagie.
Yeah.
Anyway, going back to Ninja Turtles, I thought that this movie was phenomenal. It was also nice to see like a movie theater full. There were a lot of kids in the movie theater, but they were teenagers.
Yeah, they're all teenagers.
And they were like hooting and hollering for the movie. They loved it. They loved the movie. Mm-hmm. And it just brought back like when I was a kid and I'd see a movie with like teenagers in it, and I was like 10, about to be a teenager in a few years, which felt like forever.
Yeah.
I'd get so excited and be like, wow, I can't wait to, even though I'm not a turtle. Be like, being a teenager is going to be so cool.
Yeah.
I get to hang out with girls.
Wow.
I wonder what being touched by a girl is like.
You wouldn't find out for another 20 years.
Jesus. No, I found out in high school. It was nice.
You were touched though.
Oh, yeah. I was a pretty big loser.
That's okay. I didn't date anyone in high school, so you got farther than I did.
Yeah. Anyways, man, you know what? If I was a turtle, though, I'm pretty sure they would have been all over me. I would have really came out of my shell. Shut up. I would have came out of my shell if I was a turtle in high school. You know what I mean?
I'll show you what it looks like to come out of your shell.
Ew. Ew. You're gross. So it was nice seeing like that kind of like, you know, the meme for like kids these days is like, oh, they're, you know, when we put Subway Surfers on the bottom of the screen.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. Like they seem very invested in the movie. And
yeah.
I want to say one of them was jumping up and down at the end. But I don't know. It was a few weeks ago.
I don't make a point to stare at children.
I don't stare at them either, but like when someone starts jumping up and down in a movie theater, it's kind of like...
You notice it.
You notice it, yeah.
I didn't notice it.
But yeah, so I thought it was very good. I liked the soundtrack. I liked the art style.
Yeah.
I liked the flow of the movie. It felt very, very fast.
Yeah.
It was predictable, but again, like, come on, like... It's a kids movie first of all, yeah. The Seth Rogen jump scare at the beginning was a little bit much. Lauren did not know Seth Rogen was involved with this movie.
No.
And she was like, yeah, I did.
Oh.
And it also said it like, we saw a trailer for this before, and it said from the...
I don't think I saw a trailer for it.
We go to see the same movies together, Lauren. And it was definitely in one or two of those movies.
Okay, well, I was not paying attention, obviously.
But, yeah, so just to warn you, if you see this in theaters, if you still can, I don't know if it's still out.
I'm sure it's still out.
Seth Rogen will be full screen before it starts to let you know how much he loved making this movie, which I thought was nice.
Yeah, that was a nice touch.
It seemed like he really, like, this was more like a passion project for him, like, as a fan. Mm-hmm. Again, he's the 50-year-old who was the teenager in the 90s.
Was he 50?
He's probably in his 40s.
I was going to guess at least 40s.
Yeah, he's probably, like, mid-40s, but, like, he's doing well.
Yeah.
But, yeah, so...
He looks good.
He looking better. It's all that weed.
Yeah.
He's 41.
It preserves you.
He's 41.
Oh, I thought, okay.
Yeah, so he might have been like a kid when, not less than a teenager. So again, kind of like inspired, be like,
yeah. He would have been a teenager in the 90s.
Being a teenager is all about eating pizza.
He would have been born in like 92? Or 82? So
Whoa.
82? So he would have been...
82, yeah.
Yeah, he would have been a teenager in the 90s during peak TMNT.
Yeah, he would have. So yeah. Did you know Ninja Turtles actually started as a gritty...
As the gritty?
Hold on.
What will we do with the gritty?
I shouldn't have paused there. They started out as like a gritty, like serious comic book. Mm. Was that a yes?
No, I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I thought the grittiness came from like people being edgy.
So there was an original comic book where it was gritty, and every time I say that, I just think of the fucking
Gwitty.
It was gwitty. It was like a serious tone.
You could say dark.
Dark. It was a dark.
Instead of gwitty.
Ninjas in New York City in the 80s or whatever.
Yeah.
And then they made the cartoon, and then they made the movies, and it just kind of like snowballed into something for kids.
Yeah.
However, IDW, who makes they don't make it, like they publish the Sonic comics that I get, they brought it back to being a semi-serious tone, I think. Mm-hmm. But they also published one that's like set in the future called The Last Ronin. That's about like all of them, but I think Michelangelo.
Mikey's dead?
All of them but Michelangelo.
Oh, Mikey's the only one left.
Yeah. Whoever the nerdy one is.
Leonardo?
Yeah. Purple?
Blue.
No, purple.
Purple? That's Raphael. No, red is Raphael. Purple is...
Michelangelo.
No, Michelangelo is orange.
Oh, shit. Donatello. I think all but I'm probably wrong, but like it's supposed to be really fucking good.
Okay.
And they're making a game based on it.
Oh.
That's like kind of like God of War style like fighting.
Okay.
So that's pretty cool. I'll probably play that.
Cool.
So I'm enjoying. I liked it. Mm-hmm. I'll check out the comics probably. And what? Any other closing comments you have on Ninja Turtles?
I just love seeing a movie made for kids. Actually, no. Let me back that up. Let me rephrase. I love seeing a movie that can equally be enjoyed by adults and kids.
Yeah.
But isn't. So, like, one of my issues looking back at the Mario movie was that, yes, it was for kids, but it leaned too much into the adult audience of it.
Oh, I didn't think that at all.
In hindsight, I think that.
I thought that was for kids, and I felt gross watching it. More I thought about it.
But this feels like equally for both. Like, it'd be a good movie if you have, like, a teenager who's in their phase of hating you. Like, you take them to see this.
Yeah.
And they maybe learn something, but probably not actually. But it makes you feel better. And
right.
you go and you enjoyed it at the end. And then you go and get, like, pizza and a milkshake after.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good for the whole family.
Genuinely, I would love to watch this with my children.
Wow.
Yeah. Although maybe by the time they're teenagers, it won't make sense anymore.
It might not.
Yeah. They'll call us old.
Yeah.
Although at this rate, we are going to be old by the time
we're going to be very old, yeah. All right. Well, I really liked it. I thought it was one of the better movies I watched this year.
Yeah, I agree.
And I would recommend this to anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Just know that when it comes to streaming time, you're going to have to get Paramount Plus to watch this. So take that as you will.
Doesn't Warner Brothers own the rights?
Paramount.
Paramount does?
Paramount owns Paramount Plus. Did you know that? Viacom?
No.
Yeah.
Well, I knew the Paramount Plus thing. I didn't. Yeah. I just didn't know who owned the rights to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Paramount.
Okay.
Nickelodeon. Specifically Nickelodeon, which is owned by Paramount. Fuck everyone. Fuck this bullshit streaming service. I don't give a shit. I'm gonna buy this on Blu-ray. Probably.
Let's get the Criterion version.
I don't think there's going to be a Criterion version. The next movie we talk about has one.
It does. And I didn't know that till I was doing the research.
But I think...
And it comes with a lot of cool stuff.
I think I'm going to get this just for the special features to see, like, you know, what it was like behind the scenes making this movie.
Yeah.
Special features are nice.
Yeah. Commentary's fun.
It would be cool to do a YouTube thing talking about special features on current Blu-rays. And maybe older ones. That'd be pretty cool. I'm trying to get the YouTube thing down. I've been talking to Lauren about it a lot.
Yeah.
I was thinking about doing, like, mostly just books to, like, make it different from the podcast.
Become a book YouTuber?
Yeah, but also upload a podcast about literally called the Good Screen.
Yeah.
But I also thought about doing books and games.
Would you include manga with books?
It would be, like, alternating weeks. Yeah. But I don't know. I just had to put something out there for like a few months and be like, do I like this? Or, But doing special feature reviews would also be interesting. And it's something you could do with me.
Yeah.
If you really want to.
Sure, if I have time.
Yeah, if you have the time.
If I'm home.
We're just trying to fill the void because when you don't upload on YouTube every week, your videos get lost.
Yeah.
To the ether.
Start posting shorts of our funny parts.
Yeah, I'll post a short about me discovering Ninja Turtles through the porn video.
Post one about me making the gallon piss joke.
Yeah. I don't know how much that's going to come through because it was a lot of laughing.
Cut out the laughing.
Okay. It'll just be like a straight cut. Like, could you say that again, Lauren? But, yeah, I really liked it. I really liked this movie. I thought it was great. I really hope that the writer's strike doesn't affect any of the sequels or the TV show. Because
I'm sure it will. That's going to be the next footnote in Wikipedia articles. Instead of it was delayed filming because of 2020, it's delayed filming because of the 2023 writer's strike.
Yeah, it got canceled because of the writer's strike. It's going to be a lot of that.
Honestly, if it gets canceled from the writer's strike, was it even worth it to begin with?
Maybe. What if, like, your favorite show got canceled? Did you know this doesn't affect anything made outside the U.S.? Well, I guess it makes sense, but...
Yeah.
So, like, House of the Dragon, that's filming right now. Because it's not filmed in America. It's not written or
Well, yeah,
directed.
those actors are part of a different union.
Yeah, they're part of a different... Do they unionize in... Man, this is so, like, American of me to ask.
Do they
have unions in, like, European countries?
Do they have unions in Australia, Skylar?
I think they just, like, pay people better.
Do they have unions down under?
I don't know. Unions are very like in my eyes, like unions are just part of the American history.
I think there's unions in the UK.
There might be in the UK because they're kind of similar in a little few. Anyways, let's switch gears, Lauren. Last time we were on the podcast together, we watched half of season 2 of The Bear.
Yes.
And on that podcast, we said, it feels like this season is just a lot of build-up and a lot of nice things happening and very cool and very awesome.
Yeah.
And isn't it cool being a chef? Isn't it cool learning more about being a chef?
Yeah.
And all the stress was gone.
Mm-hmm.
And then we watched literally the next episode, which was about someone driving a car through a house, basically.
Yeah, it was about it was a Christmas story.
Yeah. Did you unpause?
Yes.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, so it was like a Christmas, like back in the past when Carmi's brother was still alive.
Yeah, it's like 5 years before.
Yeah, like 5 or 4 years before Michael, what was his name?
Died.
And you just find out so much about how dysfunctional that poor guy's family is.
Yeah.
And how everyone has had to get him. And it was very uncomfortable. And then the rest of I would say the next few episodes were like, really like, if you thought like the first 5 episodes were like, oh wow, this is really like nice and the character development and everyone's having such a good time. The next, like, until the last episode, we're like, oh wow, this is like a lot of character development and
so much
is happening. Yeah. So
yeah.
I lost my train of thought again.
And then the last episode.
Then the last episode hit.
The last episode took me for a spin.
I don't even want to really talk about it on here because I'd rather people just watch the show. It's on Hulu. We said it before.
It's very easily bingeable.
It's very bingeable. We watched it in a couple weeks.
Just get past the frustration of the first season. And
I
you'll be
wouldn't say
good.
it's frustrating. A lot of
I was extremely frustrated with the first few episodes because how stressful it was. It was hard to watch.
Oh yeah.
For me.
But it gets better. Like, it's very good, like, storytelling. Every character gets fleshed out.
So much.
Yeah. The ones that you, like, at the beginning of the show, like, I want to go back and watch, like, the first 3 episodes again.
Yeah.
Because, like, the beginning of the show, you're like, fuck this guy, fuck this lady. And then by the end of the show, you're, like, rooting for them.
Yeah.
And, like, they're doing better.
Mm-hmm.
And everything's, like, all the pieces are falling together. And the thing about the end of the show is, like, or the end of the second season, I really hope that they make a 3rd season of this show.
I think it's already in production. But it comes out like each year, so it won't come out till next year.
Okay. But
because like this came out like season 2 came out like end of spring, beginning of summer.
Yeah.
Like we were late on the train for it.
We were a little late.
So the next one's not going to come out till like next spring.
But that's okay. But yeah. So I was going to say something. The end of the season isn't like a disaster.
No.
It's actually really positive.
It's very positive, but it's also very sad.
Very sad. A few bizarre things happen in the end that definitely set up a 3rd season, but also kind of leave you wondering, like, what are they, like, what's, obviously things are successful with the business and everything. And
yeah.
And, like, what are they, what's the next season going to be about? But I'm sure there'll be something.
Yeah.
They have to get that star.
Yeah, they have to get the star.
So we really liked that show. It's a definite great screen.
Great screen. Fantastic screen. Amazing screen.
Good screen. Go ahead and watch it if you can. Mm-hmm. Try it out. It'll make you never want to work in a restaurant ever. No. Or maybe it'll inspire you. Who knows?
I have a question for you, though.
What?
Do you think that Claire is a manic pixie dream girl?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was really feeling that one. I was like, oh, wow. I need to find me a girl like that. Just kidding.
All right, go find her then. Bye.
All right, I'll go sit outside the hospital and wait.
You just want a nurse? You just want a nurse?
No, I would hate that because she'd never be home.
Yeah.
Anyways,
I'm already never home.
But yeah, Claire was definitely like, I wouldn't say an objectification girl, but she was definitely like, let's make a girl that every guy would want, so that they feel terrible when things go down with this girl.
Manic pixie dream girl. Yeah.
That'd be it. So, yeah, great show. Everyone 5 listeners of this podcast should definitely go out and see it.
Yeah.
Watch it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that was faster than I thought it would be. Mm-hmm. But that's probably for the best,
Yeah, we got a lot to talk about still.
We do have a lot to talk about. So, Lauren.
Yes, Russell.
The second movie that we watched.
Yes.
In the last month. Was...
The Princess Bride.
The Princess Bride.
Yes.
All right.
I did the research for The Princess Bride. There's a lot.
Okay.
There's a lot to say about this movie.
All right.
First of all, it came out in 1987.
I wasn't born yet, and neither were you.
Neither was I. My mom was in high school.
This movie is a classic.
Yes. So it was directed by a guy named Rob Reiner.
Okay.
Who he mostly did acting. Before this, he did a little bit of directing, but it was mostly acting. As a teenager, he was in the original The Batman show.
Oh.
Andy Griffith. I don't know. It didn't say.
Oh.
Probably just some small roles. The Andy Griffith Show and Beverly Hillbillies.
Oh.
So, like, all the 1960s, 1970s quintessentials.
The golden age of television.
Yes.
Okay.
He also directed When Harry Met Sally, Stand By Me,
okay.
and a movie that I have seen called The Story of Us, which I had to watch for a communications class in college last year.
Yeah.
And I hated it because the plot was so stupid. It was
like... it corny?
No, opposite. It was these parents who were getting divorced. And they decided to come together and get divorced. But they wanted to, like, give it their all for their kids.
Of course.
And so they decide that they're going to... like, while their kids are in summer camp, they're going to spend their time separated and figure it out. And when they get back from summer camp, they're going to tell them. And then, so they go and they pick up the kids from summer camp. And instead of telling them, they both have this revelation of being like, we actually love each other and we've been together so long. Like, it would be such a waste of time if we divorced. That was... Wow. That was the decision in the end. And when I had to write my essay for it, I included, like, a whole section being like, you didn't ask for, like, my opinion on this movie, but I'm going to tell you I think this was really stupid and they should have just divorced.
Wow.
Anyways, The Princess Bride had a budget of $16 million.
60 or 16?
16.
Okay.
And a total box office revenue of $30.9 million.
Wow.
This movie was pretty much an instant, like, cult classic. Like, it did well in theaters, but it did the best when it came out on video.
Yeah.
On VCRs, I guess, back then. And it still has a cult classic to this day.
Yeah.
In 2016, it was put in the Library of Congress for preservation.
Oh, wow.
For being historically, culturally, and aesthetically significant.
Okay.
So, this movie is based on a book.
Right.
The original title is called... The Princess Bride, S. Morgenstein's classic tale of true love and high adventure, the good parts version. And it was written by a man named William Goldman.
Yes.
So there was never a version by S. Morgenstern. He's fictional.
Okay.
And so there is, like, a fictional background for Goldman as well. Like he has, like, this, like, big, like, epilogue section where he tells the story, but it's all fictional. And it's, like, meant to play in with the plot of the book.
Okay.
The story that Goldman writes about the making of the book, which it's all fictional, is that, much like in the movie, like, this is what inspired what happened in the movie, The Princess Bride was read to him as a kid by his father, and he loved it, but he never actually read it himself. Like, it was just read to him. And so he looked forward to sharing the book with his son when he became a father, and went to, like, great lengths to find a copy of the book for him, and, like, gave it to him. And he gave it to his son for his birthday, and he was really disappointed to find out that his son never, like, got past the first chapter.
Oh, okay.
So then, as an adult, Goldman actually went and read the book, and he was surprised to find out that the book was largely, like, a satire of politics.
Okay.
And stuff like that, like, actually pretty boring, and his dad just skipped to the good parts.
Yeah.
So this book is Goldman's abridgment of the original book that never existed.
Okay.
And, he also, like, structured it to make it, like, episodic.
Right.
So that it was more, like, interesting to read.
Right.
So that's, like, the fictional setting of the book.
Huh.
Yeah. The book came out in 1973. For the movie, Goldman was a screenplay writer, so he was largely, like...
He was very involved with the movie, yeah.
Yes. A little fun fact is that the two countries, Florin and Guilder, are named after different coins.
Oh.
The florin is an Italian gold coin.
Okay.
Which is why some of the characters are like kind of Italian.
Sure.
And the guilder was a Dutch gold coin.
Oh.
And the origins of the coins influence the countries. Like, so one is like kind of vaguely Italian.
Yeah.
And the other's vaguely Dutch, German.
Dutch, yeah.
Yeah. So there was going to be a sequel.
Really?
Starting in the
the book or the movie?
Of the book.
Okay.
And I guess maybe eventually they would have done a movie.
Right.
So in the 25th anniversary edition that was put out, there was like an extra footnote for the anniversary hinting at a sequel, but that Goldman was having issue publishing it.
Really?
Due to difficulties with the fictional original author. So it was like him saying there's going to be one, but he like doesn't know when it's going to happen, basically.
Oh, okay.
Was what he was trying to say. And then later copies came out with a sample chapter.
Oh.
Of like the first chapter of the book, which would have been
probably
called...
the one I bought. I just bought it.
Maybe.
That's pretty new.
It came with like the first chapter, and the story was going to be called Buttercup's Baby.
Oh.
It was about like Buttercup
having a baby.
And I'm blanking on his name, having a baby.
And
the
Man in Black.
And they're Dreadman Roberts.
I think his name was the Man in Black.
No, Wesley.
Wesley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Their baby, or their child rather. And the one with the sample chapter includes like more fictional stuff about Goldman being upset that the like Morgenstern estate gave the abridgment rights to Stephen King.
Oh.
And not to him, but that was fictional too.
That's weird.
Like he's just making up this whole weird story.
Yeah.
And when the 30th edition came out, he gave more hints and promised that it would be out by the 50th anniversary in 2023.
So it's like a running joke.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think it's a running joke.
I'm glad they just chose to make the movie, the B-plot be a grandfather reading it to his grandson.
Well, I mean, that was inspired by like his footnote thing.
Oh, it was?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I guess it was. Yeah, you're right. I was listening.
All right. So then eventually in 2007, Goldman admitted that he was just having issues coming up with ideas for the story.
Okay.
And in 2018, Goldman died.
What?
Without completing the sequel.
Man, that's like his last joke.
Yeah, I think it was kind of a running gag.
It was a running gag.
I didn't notice it until you pointed out, but it sounds like it's a running gag about people wanting more and him being like, I don't know what else to give you.
I hope they never make a sequel.
I hope so too.
I can imagine like some Disney Plus, like... I can imagine Disney Plus doing like a limited series or something like that.
I don't know how well it would go.
That would just be awful. Sorry.
Why are you popping pussies?
I should stop doing that.
All right, let me continue.
Okay.
A fun thing I found in the Wikipedia article. So there was lots of like board games and stuff like that, but something that stuck out to me was
board games?
Yeah, there's a board game.
That's cool.
Yeah.
You didn't write anything down about that?
No.
All right, go
on. It exists. You can get it like Target.
Okay.
In 2008, a computer game came out.
2008?
Called The Princess Bride Game.
What?
And a lot of the voice lines were like done by like the actors reprising their roles.
Was it like an adventure game?
I don't know. I didn't look at any like gameplay or anything.
I had to check that out.
In 2016, a bar in I'm sorry. I'm looking and not reading. In 2020,
okay,
a bar in Chicago was opened up that was themed after The Princess Bride. The bar was called As You Wish.
Oh.
And their menu featured 16 themed cocktails.
Wow. In 2020, huh?
In 2020. I don't know if it still exists.
Yeah.
Also in 2020, during the pandemic, and during like quarantine specifically, a home movie thing was released on Quibi.
Oh.
Called Home Movie The Princess Bride.
Yeah.
It was filmed during quarantine. Like, it was genuine. Like, it was filmed during quarantine by, like, a cast of ensemble actors.
Right.
I think they were, like, actors hired for this thing, but, it was set to look like it was something people were doing for fun during quarantine.
Okay.
And the plot of the show was that they were filming and recreating scenes from the movie to help raise money for this charity called World Central Kitchen. So this came out after Goldman died.
Okay.
But it got a lot of approval from Goldman's like estate.
Yeah.
So, and it was like endorsed by his estate eventually.
Okay.
Rob Reiner also approved of the project and even appeared in the films as the grandfather.
Oh.
in the film.
Yeah.
And it also featured Rob Reiner's dad, Carl Reiner, who you probably have never heard of. I've never heard of him either, but he's the man who created and produced The Dick Van Dyke Show.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So that's like definitely how Rob Reiner like got his foot in the door.
Yeah.
He's a nepotism baby.
Baby, yeah.
Yeah. And so the film ended up being dedicated to his memory after to Carl Reiner.
Yeah.
Because just a couple days after he filmed his scenes, he died.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Who did he play again?
He
played the wizard or something?
No. So Rob Reiner
He was the grandfather.
was the grandfather.
Okay.
And I think Carl was like a great-grandfather or something. I don't know.
Okay.
It said that they were both grandfathers, so I don't know.
Okay. Moving along.
Then they also got like permission from the original like orchestra person, the music person to use the music.
Danny Elfman. Wait.
I don't know.
I'm just saying.
I
saying
saw
a composer.
I saw the name. They were permitted to use the original soundtrack.
Cool.
And then also in 2020, the original voice cast got together, or the original cast rather, got together for a live virtual reading of The Princess Bride.
Oh.
To help support the Democratic Party of Wisconsin.
Weird.
Yeah, that's weird.
Oh, the composer was Mark Knopfler.
You've really got that one right.
Mark Knopfler. That's what it says.
Mark Knopfler.
Knopfler.
That's like knife.
Knife.
In 2020, the original voice cast got together for a live virtual read of The Princess Bride to support the Democratic Party of Wisconsin for some reason. It was also quarantine. They were just doing something. But
really weird times.
Additional cast that joined in to fill in for characters included Josh Gad, who, do you know who he is?
Yeah.
Whoopi Goldberg.
Oh.
Finn Wolfhard.
Okay.
And Eric Idle.
Who's that?
He's in Monty Python.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
That's everything I got.
Very cool.
Lots of cool stuff. And also, people just love this movie.
People love this movie.
Yeah.
I went up until now. I only saw it once, and it was like bits and pieces of it.
I saw it once too. It was like just on TV, like ABC Family or something. I saw bits and pieces of it.
I wasn't like attentive to the whole movie.
Yeah, I didn't. I think I started watching it like halfway
I got
through.
the memes. I got the memes down. I was good with that.
Yeah.
But I never saw the movie for like what it was.
Me neither, until now.
And I am so upset I never have. Because I really liked it.
Right? It's so good.
I can't believe that throughout, especially like when I was a kid, like this never came on, or like my parents never put it on or something like that. Because like this came out, what, 87?
87.
Yeah, my mom would have been like in high school still.
Would she?
I think she graduated in 87.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, she would have been like right out of
Oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Like, yeah, so.
Because your mom was born in 69?
Yeah. But yeah, I was just like, wow, I somehow never saw this movie, and like every bit and piece of this movie is just like such a classic.
Yeah.
It's not,
even when you watch it, like you feel how much like care and love was put into it.
I forgot I wrote notes down for this. Hold on.
Oh, okay. I didn't write any notes. I need to bring back like bringing my notepad like to the movie theater and like writing notes.
That's what I wanted to do, starting with this one. So
yeah, I need to bring it back.
I have more notes for this than There Will Be Blood.
Oh, okay.
So, let me talk about a few things that really like stood out to me when I watched this movie.
Sure.
We watched this independently from each other because Lauren was busy.
I watched it like after work. I guess Russell also watched it after work, but we got out of work at very different times.
Yeah. So
I was watching it at like midnight, which honestly is the mood.
That is the mood.
Yeah, I had just like one of those lights on and was like just chilling.
Yeah.
It was so good.
So the first thing I pointed out that really stood out to me was that it starts with a kid playing like a baseball game on his Atari or something.
Oh, yeah.
And I was like,
he's playing like Nintendo baseball.
This is very our field. Baseball.
Oh, yes. We love baseball.
So the movie begins with the grandfather reading to the grandson who's sick.
Yeah,
he's taking a sick day.
Yeah, granddad's watching him for the day.
He's watching him for the day, even though he's stuck in bed.
Yeah.
And he's starting to tell him this story. And it starts with, like, two people falling in love. And he's like, is this a kissing story?
Is this a kissing book?
But this beginning part where Buttercup and Wesley are falling in love with each other is very corny.
It is
so cheesy.
But it's also really cute.
It is really cute. I thought that there was some insane sexual tension, but this is true love.
Yeah.
And their phrase was, "as you wish."
Yeah, that's what he said.
What is our phrase, Lauren?
What's our phrase?
Yeah, I was very sentimental when I was writing these down.
Okay. What's our as you wish?
What's our as you wish? Did you just fart?
Pee pee poo poo?
No.
Whenever we say things funny.
Okay.
Like,
Clearly this isn't love.
when we go like this.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, this is an audio medium. Russell and I have started doing this thing, I guess somewhat recently, in the last few months.
Like as a joke?
Where we, like, put our foreheads together and our ends of our nose are touching and we just stare into each other's eyes.
It's not romantic.
It's funny.
It's just really funny.
It's silly.
Because Lauren looks really funny then.
Yeah, you look funny too.
So, I originally thought that this movie was more like a Monty Python thing. But it really isn't.
We need to watch Monty Python.
We watched that already.
Oh.
I watched that with you, definitely.
I forgot.
It was before the podcast, but we watched it.
We need to watch it for the podcast because I don't remember it.
Okay.
I do remember... I know that all the chainmail in Monty Python was actually crocheted and then spray painted silver.
Okay.
I've told you that before.
I think you might have mentioned that in the podcast before.
I'm mentioning it again. It's very cool.
Yeah. So I initially had the impression that this was like a Monty Python haha funny fantasy movie. Mm-hmm. It's really not. Like there are some like funny like silly moments.
Yeah.
It's definitely a fantasy comedy, I would say.
Yes.
But definitely not like
which is
silly,
kind of a rare
stupid.
It's a rare genre.
Yeah. But it should be explored more often. Andre the Giant is based.
Oh my god, that was my favorite casting.
Yeah, he was the best character. He had stuff to say about like being smart even though he was a giant and like liking to learn. Mm-hmm. I thought that was very nice.
Like subjecting expectations.
Yeah, subverting expectations.
Subverting, thank you.
Yeah. So over the course of the story, the kid starts warming up to the story. You know?
Yeah, like there's one part where it's like they're taking a break where he's eating his sandwich.
Yeah.
And the granddad's like, all right, I'll just stop now. And the kid's like, no, keep going.
Yeah. He was loving it.
Yeah.
There was a line in this movie that really stuck out to me.
Sure.
Buttercup asked Wesley, why are you wearing a mask? And he said, everyone will be wearing them in the future. Do you think they pointed that out during the COVID live reads?
I can only
Do you think we have to
Maybe
have to watch
he was wearing
those
a different mask.
Yeah.
He was wearing a face mask.
I think that's so. Now that I know like the COVID live read thing happened,
yeah.
I think that like when they got to that part, they were like, "Do we leave this in? Do we leave this in right now? People are dying." They mentioned so this takes place in like real, not like a fantasy world, but like the real world. They mentioned like Germany and. They mention Spain.
It's kind of like Genovia. Like they live in fictional countries, but the rest of the world is real.
Yeah, they mentioned that Australia is full of criminals, which we just recently talked about.
We did.
And so it must be set around like late 1800s. That would have been.
I guess, but they're definitely like wearing like Renaissance type outfits. So
yeah, very strange.
Whatever.
We just went over that. We were talking about it on Discord the other day.
Yeah.
But overall, like the plot is very like quick. Like it moves along. It's not a dry adventure. Very good pace.
Every like scene has meaning. There's no scenes that I can think of that are like if you took that out, it'd still be the same.
I think my favorite part about this movie was Inigo Montoya because his like he just kind of starts and he's like with the criminals who I mean two of them turn out to be good guys in the end, or I guess two of them turn out to be good guys in the end anyway, but and he has to duel Wesley and in like they take a break before the duel.
Yeah.
But like it doesn't feel like they're taking a break, but like they establish him in like 5 minutes, and everyone's like, "Wow, this is a cool character." Like it's very like I haven't seen a movie do that.
Right.
Like just have like maybe
very
some TV
solid
shows like
character
very like solid, like not like drawn out or like an episode is a flashback of like his dad dying for the sword. Like very quick. Like all he had to do was tell that story. We know he's very good, and then they have a fight. And the fight,
they both like kind of pull the same trick on each other.
Yeah, same trick. And he like doesn't kill him, and you're like, wow, this guy's gonna come back. Obviously, he comes back, and he's a major part of the rest of the movie. But I thought that just that part of the movie, I was like, wow, this is gonna be like a really quick, really concise story, and it was overall. There was a guy named Cummerbund in this movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's just the note. His name's Cummerbund?
Yeah, Cummerbund. And I said that I liked the soundtrack.
Yeah.
I wrote that down too. Soundtrack was very nice. It was like MIDI orchestra. You could tell that it wasn't live instruments. That's what I liked about it. Like it was like synthesizer strings. It sounded like that a little bit. I don't know if that's true or not.
Maybe that's just like the 80s.
Yeah. So, all right, I was watching this at night because halfway through watching this movie, I get a notification on the Apple TV, and it says Michael Lorenzen is 3 outs away from hitting and doing a no-hitter.
Oh, yeah.
And I had to stop watching the movie, so I wrote that down. I thought that was so funny. Michael Lorenzen is a pitcher for the Philadelphia Phillies, and I watched the last inning of that.
Yeah, as opposed to the Philadelphia Eagles?
Yes. I don't think he'd be a very good pitcher for the Eagles.
No.
Maybe for the 76ers. They need somebody on that team.
Honestly.
Anyway, but at this point in the story, halfway through, the kid's super invested.
Yeah. And the kid kind of like mirrors the watcher.
Yeah.
But being like, no, keep going.
Yeah. I really liked the part where Buttercup was about to get married and the wench, like, girl bossed.
Yeah, in the crowd.
Like, said, like, you know...
She's like, you're so much better than this.
You're better than this. What are you doing, girl? Put your records on. And, I really like that part, and I wish it wasn't a dream. I wish that, like, derailed the plot. That would have been good. Do you have anything else you want to add? I feel like I'm just reading off my list.
I mean, I didn't take notes. I just really liked it as a whole. It felt like one of those stories you do read as a kid. It felt
like a fairy tale book that I just never read.
Yeah.
Like, can you imagine just never reading Cinderella or watching Cinderella and then, like, watching it now? You'd be like, wow, that's, like...
Well, it's also, like...
Probably doesn't hold up as well.
I've read the original Peter Pan story. It's very different than, like, the Disney-ified movie.
Oh, yeah, it is, yeah.
And also just, like, knowing the history of, like, the original, like, play performances of it.
Okay.
It makes it feel, like, so much more magical and fun than, like, what Disney did with it, honestly.
Even the cartoon?
Like, the cartoon movie?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I'd say the closest the vibe gets is, like, that 2002 one.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was a good movie.
You know what I mean? Like, it just...
Yeah.
It wasn't giving fun, magical story adventure.
I hate that phrase, giving.
Oh, I just say it all the time.
Because it's like a word away from a complete sentence.
The girls say it all the time, so
It's just like, giving what?
It's giving.
It's giving what?
It's giving... It's giving
Princess
you're not hip
Bride.
with the kids.
That isn't a complete sentence.
It's giving geriatric.
Just say one word after that. Geriatric vibes. Just say vibes. Yeah. It's giving... What is giving?
Don't hate on the kids, okay?
This is like the first thing where I'm like, I don't get it.
You're old now.
Yeah, I'm old now. It'll happen to you. Well, maybe not. You work with kids.
I work with kids.
There was a nipple cupping machine that they used to torture Wesley.
I forgot about that.
And the sound of ultimate suffering was just a dude getting his nipples pinched, like, really hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was my favorite part of the movie.
Because
everybody heard it, and they're like, that was the sound of ultimate suffering.
It was like the shot heard around the world.
Yeah. It was like... It was like a war cry. And then, yeah, so overall, I mean, there's not much else to say about the movie. Clearly, it's a classic. We really liked it. It tied up really well.
Yeah.
The B-plot with the grandson and the grandfather was nice.
Yeah, that was really nice.
A nice
bonding
cutback.
time.
Yeah.
And then at the end, he's like, can you come back and read it tomorrow?
Yeah.
That was really cute.
Yeah, just like very good, wholesome movie. Cannot believe I haven't seen it fully through until 29 years into my life.
Literally.
Like, I had some friends in high school that I think watched this movie like 5 billion times every summer. I think. So, yeah, really good movie. If you haven't seen this at some point, go see it. I really want to read the book now, knowing like the weird lore behind it.
Yeah.
Because the beginning of the book, I was confused. I was like, this is a really long foreword.
Yeah, it's him like explaining everything.
Yeah, so maybe I'll read that through. But overall, very solid.
But also just know that everything in the foreword is like fictional.
Yeah.
So.
Very solid movie. Interested in the book now after what you said. But yeah, definitely like great screen.
Extremely.
Criterion
amazing.
Screen.
Yeah.
We're up there.
It's giving Criterion.
It's giving Criterion. And yeah, like I said, like
it's giving Library of Congress.
Both the movies in this podcast episode, we both really agreed on that were very good. And I feel like we haven't had, even with Barbie and Oppenheimer.
Yeah,
like those
we
are
had
just kind of
issues
like
with those. This is just like, these are amazing, refreshing, breath of fresh air. Like
very good movies. So nice, cool summer night. You don't have many left.
Yeah.
Open a window.
Well, I guess if you're in Australia, it's cold.
It's almost spring.
It's almost their spring. This is the perfect time for Skyward to watch it.
Yeah, I'm sure he's seen it.
It's such a lush, beautiful movie.
Yeah.
Springtime, I think, would be the best time to watch it.
Yeah. But, yeah, so I would say...
Wait, so in Australia, you know how, like, you learn the order of the seasons? Do they start there with summer, fall, winter, spring?
No. I don't think there is an order of the seasons.
In Australia?
Yeah.
Well, because their winter's when our summer is. So, like, you know how in school you learn, like...
Oh, yeah, like by the year?
Yeah, there's, like, springs at the
beginning I guess it would
of the
be
year,
summer.
then it's summer, then it's fall, and then it's winter.
It'd be summer, fall...
Winter,
spring, yeah. Or winter, spring, summer, fall. It's not that complicated, Lauren.
Do they say Z in Australia?
They say Z everywhere but America.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
All right, let us know, Skyward. Let us know your Australian thoughts about our American...
We need to get out more.
Inquiries.
All right.
Let's just go to Australia.
Okay. So that's The Princess Bride.
Okay.
Very good movie.
So good. Amazing.
We both liked it.
I want to get it on DVD.
On DVD specifically?
I want to watch it again. Let's get the Criterion version.
I'll do that. That's fine.
Yeah.
All right.
Do we have a Criterion Wally?
We do.
Okay, good. That's the only other Criterion movie I care about.
All right. Let's go ahead and talk about our last section, Lauren. What is your screenless shout-out?
I have like 3 of them.
Okay, go for it.
The first one is going to be the inciting incident. I went to Hershey Park.
Yes, you did.
That's where I'm pretty sure I got sick from. It's either Hershey Park or work, but I'm fairly certain it was Hershey Park.
Okay.
I went to Hershey Park with our friends Amanda and JJ, I guess 2.5 weeks ago now. I went on the 5th. I'm looking at her calendar.
Yeah.
Almost 3 weeks ago. It was a lot of fun. We mostly hung out in the water park because it was kind of hot that day.
Okay.
And Amanda and JJ said that they were feeling water park vibes. I had fun. It was a very enjoyable Hershey Park experience. My second screenless shout out is going to be so shortly before getting sick, Russell and I went to the mall and we went to BAM, and I happened to find one of my favorite series of books that I kind of forgot about that I read in high school. The first one is called Shiver.
Yeah.
And it came out in 2008, so it was coming on the coattails of Twilight. And it's basically Twilight, but werewolves instead.
Just werewolves.
Just werewolves.
Okay.
But the lore is very interesting about how the werewolves work.
How do they work?
So if you get bit by a werewolf, you become a werewolf. But you become a werewolf when it gets cold. So like it takes
not the moon.
No, and it explains in the book that like part of the reason why it was confused for the moon is because it gets cold at night, so they would turn at night and they thought it was the moon.
Because the moon is cold.
Well, night's cold.
Oh yeah.
And so the book revolves around the main girl whose name is Claire.
A lot of Claires.
I think it's Claire. I kind of forgot. I like binge read the book.
Okay.
So she was bit as a kid by the wolf pack in the woods. She didn't know there were werewolves then. But she was bit as a kid, but she never turned because shortly after being bitten, before she had the chance to like gain her powers and stuff of turning, she had a really bad fever. Like, she got sick.
She sweated out.
And also, she was left in the car by her dad on a hot day.
What?
So, being, like, in the heat so much...
Killed the wolf inside her.
Yes, but she still had, like, the wolf senses and stuff.
Inside you, there's a dead werewolf.
Inside you, there are two wolves, and both of them are dead.
Both of them are dead. Wow.
Okay. So she, like, even though she was attacked by these wolves, like, she became enamored with them.
Oh, I'm sure.
Like, she just observed them in her yard because they lived in the forest that was, like, behind her house.
Wait, hold on. So these are just, like, wolf... Not, like, 2-leg wolf people, but 4-leg wolf
yes,
people.
like, the animal, the wolf.
Okay, not, like, werewolves that on 2 legs.
No, and they're also not giant like how they are in Twilight.
Okay, all right.
They're just regular wolves.
Okay, all right.
I mean, wolves are big, but they're not, like, Twilight wolf big.
Yeah, they weren't big. Normal and wolves. They didn't stand on 2 legs and, like, look like Skyrim werewolves.
No.
Okay, go ahead.
No.
I just need to know that.
Yeah, and so one of the wolves that she has always been, like, the most, like, drawn to, it's a black wolf with, like, yellow eyes.
Okay.
And so the thing about the werewolves is that their features are based on their human features. Like, their eye color stays the same.
Oh.
And their fur color is usually, like, similar to the color of their hair.
Yeah.
So that wolf... as a human, his name is Sam, and he was turned when he was like 11 or 12.
Yeah.
Because he got bit by a wolf, but found the pack. And so.
You think the town would do something about this?
Well, they're starting to now.
Oh, okay.
Because not too long after the start of the book, one of the boys that she goes to high school with named Jack, he gets attacked by the wolves and killed. So then the town is like, okay, we need to go kill these wolves. And she's like, ooh, what if you didn't do that? So she does actually stop the hunting party that goes out by saying that her friend's out in the woods and they can't be going in the woods because she's out there taking pictures.
Yeah.
And I guess they just never thought to go back another day. I don't know. They kind of didn't go back.
Young adult novel.
Yeah. So Sam... so like during all that, like a bullet does hit Sam. And so when she gets home, because she like just walks through the woods back to her house, because it's like the same like woods that's in her yard is where the wolves live. And so she gets back and she finds Sam like on her back porch, like bleeding, but human.
Yeah.
And it's November, so it's like it's really not supposed to be happening. But because of, like, the adrenaline, he, like, turned back to human. Mm-hmm. She kind of doesn't question it. She's like, you're the wolf.
The Edward moment.
Yeah, the Edward moment.
I know what you are. You got shot.
Say it out loud.
Just give me a bandage.
Well, she ends up taking him to the hospital, but she, like, breaks him out of the hospital before they can really ask questions. Because, like, kind of like with vampires, like, the wolves heal, like, super quickly.
Yeah.
So before they can really ask questions, they get him out. Mm-hmm. And she kind of just, like, harbors him in her room because her parents are, like, absent. So they wouldn't notice he was even there.
Okay.
So.
They fall in love. Of course.
And she finds. I'm just spoiling this whole book.
Yeah.
They fall in love. Plot ensues. Claire comes up with an idea for a cure. Which is, so the boy who was attacked at the beginning, Jack, he didn't actually die. Because, like, they, like, took his body to a morgue and stuff, but he, like, broke out of the morgue.
Okay.
And, like, wolf stuff. And...
He regenerated.
He just didn't die in... Maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
His sister, Isabel, goes to the same school, and she goes to... Or no, her name's Grace. I got it very wrong.
Oh, wow.
She goes to Grace and is like, I know you know something about these wolves because everyone knows that you really like these wolves. So you know something. And she's like, I'm not at liberty to tell you. And she's like, no, you're going to tell me. So then eventually Grace does tell her, like, and confirms because Bella kind of figures it out on her own.
Her name's Bella?
Isabel.
Oh, okay.
Isabel kind of figures it out on her own. And Grace is just like, yeah, you're right. They're werewolves. Isabel's mom works at a local health clinic.
Okay. And
they recently had someone in there with meningitis. And with meningitis, part of it is that you get a fever of like 106.
Ooh.
And eventually your brain kind of melts.
Wow.
But so Isabel has the idea of like, what if we take like someone with meningitis' blood, because then it has the virus in it, and we give it to them, and the fever heals them like it did heal you. And Grace is like, I don't think that's a fantastic idea, but, like, we could just try, because it's Sam's... So they only have so many years where they turn back and forth from a wolf and a human until they just stay a wolf forever.
Oh, okay.
And for some reason, Sam, even though he was turned when he was, like, 12 and he's, like, 18 now, the last year didn't come back as a human. So he's like, this is probably going to be my last year being human. So he's like, I'm down to try it because worst case scenario, I die and I don't like being a wolf. So I'd rather be dead than stay a wolf the rest of my life. And so they give both Sam and Jack the cure, which is like the blood of the meningitis guy. And so it doesn't work on Jack, but it does work on Sam.
So he's like a human now.
Yeah. So then at the end of the book, it's like this big dramatic moment where it's like Grace is like going and like getting ready for like, it's like Christmas break now. And the whole time one of her friends, Rachel, was mentioning like, you should come with me on this trip at Christmas time to like just get out of fucking Wisconsin or wherever we are.
You don't even know where they are?
It's like Minnesota or somewhere like that.
Okay.
Some place where it's cold all the time.
All the time? Yeah, Minnesota. Yeah.
And so she's like going, getting ready. And she just happens to be out, like, putting seeds in the bird feeder or whatever, like, cleaning off the bird feeder of snow. And then Sam, as a human, walks out of the woods, and she's like, oh, Sam! And then the book ends there. That's the first book. And the second book picks up right after that.
All right, let's not talk about that.
So, yeah, anyways.
Wow, that's a lot, Lauren.
I read that in, like, just a couple days while I was sick. While I was also watching Outlander. Yeah.
Wow, what a miserable week.
And then my third shout out is on Saturday. So like 2 days ago, I went with Amanda to the Ren Fair. It was opening day.
For Renaissance.
Ren for Renaissance. Yes. Thank you. And
you had fun.
Had a lot of fun. It was probably like one of the most like well-enjoyed Renaissance days I've had there so far. Like we watched the activities because like there's this one thing where it's like, it's called, like, Fight Your Friends. Yeah. It's the thing that Ben got kicked out of when he was drunk. They, like, kicked him out of the Ren Fair altogether because he was, like, drunk and playing it. I don't know how he got kicked out. I was thinking about that. I was watching. I was like, what did he do to get kicked out? But I'll have to ask.
Probably hurt somebody.
Probably. So the premise of the game is, like, you put on these, like, this, like, leather armor thing where they, like, tie balloons to your shoulders and one to, like, your helmet. And you take these, like, plastic swords and you hit each other.
Okay.
And it's mostly kids doing it against each other or parents and their kids.
Yeah.
So it was just very entertaining
no wonder
to watch.
Ben got kicked out. Maybe they changed the rules after he got kicked out. And now it's like parents and kids.
I don't know. I mean, there were friends that went and did it too.
Yeah.
But it was mostly like kids doing it. But it was a lot of fun to watch. Like Amanda and I, right next to it is a pretzel stand. So we got our giant pretzel.
Yeah, we loved pretzels in the 1600s.
Yeah.
Or whenever that was.
Yeah.
1400s? 1300s?
It's whenever you want it to be. It's the Ren Fair.
Okay.
And so yeah, we got a giant pretzel. We got some different kinds of mustard. I found out that I do enjoy mustard. I just don't like yellow mustard.
Yellow mustard is the worst mustard.
Yeah, there was like a spicy, like kind of sweet mustard that we tried, and then the other one I think was just like a Dijon.
Dijon is the best.
I like the spicy one.
Stone ground is good too. You might like the stone ground mustard.
Maybe.
We're out of it, by the way.
Okay, whatever. Yeah, we just sat there sharing this pretzel and like watched it for like a good 30 minutes.
Wow.
I just walked around and looked at all the new stuff that opened up this year because there's a lot of new stuff this year.
Yeah.
And I'm very much looking forward to going with her in the fall.
Very cool. Mm-hmm. Maybe I'll go. Who knows?
You'll have to get a kilt.
Apparently I will. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, cool. Mm-hmm. So those were all of your Screenless shoutouts. You're all caught up?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
What about you?
My Screenless shoutout, and I'm kind of forgetting if this was my shoutout last week. No, last time our Screenless shoutout was going on vacation.
Did you do one with Will last week?
I did.
What was it?
It was the water cooler.
Oh! Yeah, that's a pretty good one.
Yeah. So you should really listen to the rest of that.
I should. Also, while I was sick, I drank 5 gallons of water.
Yeah. I had to go
We ran out in 3 days.
Yeah, in 3 or 4 days we ran out.
I was drinking so much water because my throat hurts.
My Screenless shoutout is Philadelphia sports teams.
Mm-hmm.
I have been hiding long enough. This season, fall, and I guess the rest of the baseball season, I'm just rooting for Philly.
Yeah, Toronto kind of fell off the...
It's not that I don't... Yeah, it just... I'm getting to the point where I'm like, yeah, this is kind of stupid. Good or bad, I'm in the Philadelphia broadcast area for sports, so I should be a Philadelphia sports fan.
Yeah. Well, they're also just doing really good.
They're doing okay. Let's not get ahead of ourselves.
They're going to get into wild card.
They might. Who knows? It's baseball.
I think they will.
We'll really know by the end of September.
The statistics all say yes.
We'll find out. But they're a fun team this year.
Mm-hmm.
I wish I don't wish I had cable, but if I had cable, I'd probably watch their games all the time.
I was going to say, you need to get the VPN to work so that we can watch it.
I have it working on my iPad.
You don't have it working on your computer?
No.
Or the TV?
Yeah, I had to figure out what's going on with that because I definitely selected an area where I could watch it and it didn't work.
Yeah, just select Washington State.
I selected Colorado. Anyway, but that's not important. I'm rooting for Philadelphia teams. As I mentioned in my notes for Princess Bride, I got to witness a no-hitter. That was awesome. Mm-hmm. There were some great games over the weekend against Washington. Some good, some bad.
Yeah.
And overall, I'm getting ready to feel the pain this fall.
You know what I'm getting ready for?
It's not going to end well.
That's fine.
Maybe not. Who knows?
Mariners might make it.
They're not in Philadelphia. I can't root for them. They are my shadow team, though.
Okay,
let's be real. I'm really rooting for the Mariners.
Yeah.
But yeah, so my Screenless shoutout is basically just succumbing to my heritage. Because, my grandma, she's the big...
Oh my God, she's the biggest Phillies fan.
Phillies fan. And
we got her a Philly Fanatic pillow pet for Christmas last year.
And the Eagles and
Penn State. I kind of want one.
Yeah, me too. Eagles, Penn State, Phillies. She doesn't like 76ers, but, she also has some very weird things to say to me about... Anyway.
Are you saying she's racist?
No, she's just old. She's not intentionally. It's just when you're that old, it just slips.
Yeah, I mean, you don't have to care anymore. You're old. Whatever.
I just remember when I was telling her oh, I'm gonna put together some family tree stuff. She's like, all right, Russell. Well, I just want to let you know before you find out, some of your distant relatives married black people.
What?
And I was like, okay. When was it? The 70s? Yeah, they were allowed to do that then.
It's legal.
Yeah, I was okay, Grandma, that's not in our immediate family anyway. It wouldn't show up anywhere. But
wow.
Yeah. So she just said stuff like that. But and she doesn't have a problem with it. But back then, everyone had a problem with it. So you had to warn people. Oh, Sharon, she married a black guy. It was,
they'd say worse
controversy.
Words,
yeah. There's even a movie about it called Guess Who's Coming to Dinner? It's a guy who brought his black girlfriend to dinner with his white family. But I think it had a good message. What's that?
Isn't that what Get Out's about?
Yeah, but I think that's more of like a deconstruction.
I haven't seen Get Out.
That's more of like a not deconstruction, like a horror. That's a horror movie.
Haven't you seen Get Out?
No.
Oh, we need to watch it.
Yeah, but and they remade it later with modern actors and actresses, but it was just called Guess Who.
Okay.
But yeah, back then it was like super controversial to be like a mixed race couple. So like she just still to this day she'll be like, oh man, well, that's pretty wild, isn't it? And I'll be like, no, not really. I mean,
doesn't she know we're a mixed couple?
What?
You're a gamer.
Oh yeah, I'm a gamer. That's right. And you're a sewer. So yeah. So anyways, my grandma's a big Philadelphia sports fan. Let's go Birds! I bleed green.
Did you know at Dunkin' Donuts they have an Eagles donut right now?
Really?
Yeah, it's got white frosting and green sprinkles.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Did you know every time they win, at least in the past, if they win on a Sunday, you get free coffee at Dunkin' in the morning? Hell.
I mean, I don't go to Dunkin', so I wouldn't know. I don't really like Dunkin' coffee that much.
Yeah, I don't either, but like I did it
I go there
time.
for the donuts. I don't go there for coffee. If I want coffee, I go to Wawa or Starbucks. If I had to pick between Starbucks and Dunkin', I choose Starbucks. But the real answer is Wawa.
We've talked about this before on the podcast.
We have. But the real answer is Wawa.
I took advantage of that free coffee like one time in my life.
Really?
Yeah, it just happened to work out. But yeah, so this...
Does the Phillies have something?
No. But yeah, this fall and winter and whatever, next season, from this point onward, put on that red cap or that green cap. No, not the MAGA cap. The Philadelphia Phillies hat.
Make the Phillies great again.
Yeah. Less so the 76ers, although I'd really like to get into that team right now.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to enjoy Philadelphia sports.
Okay.
I'm going to fully embrace being in the area.
Okay.
Make that my brand.
Can I go back to my route for a second?
Oh my God. What else do you have to add?
Oh, I was just going to say, I am very much anticipating fall. Saturday was a really nice day. Like, it almost felt like a fall day. It felt
a little bit like fall, yeah.
There was like a nice breeze. It was like the perfect day for the Ren Fair. Opening day last year, it was hell because it was like 95.
Yeah?
This year it was like high 70s, 80 with a breeze.
Okay.
And it was mostly shady there this year.
Cool.
Like, I think they added more trees and stuff to make it shadier.
They just added more trees?
I think, genuinely, it felt a lot shadier than it has before.
Like, fully grown trees? They just added them?
They just planted trees.
Okay.
I don't know.
Well, that's really nice.
Yeah, I went shopping yesterday accidentally. I went to Target for, like, one thing, but I bought a lot of things.
Okay.
Russell told me I had a woman moment. Which I guess, I don't know.
It's true.
But I don't have that big of a wardrobe, so I don't have a lot of, like, clothes that I can wear in the fall at my current job. Because previously I had to wear uniforms at work.
Lauren's Screenless Shoutout is literally just her whole life for the last 3 weeks.
Yeah.
That's all you did.
Yeah.
It's literally everything you did.
Except for, like, sleeping and resting and working.
Wow, that's impressive. Okay. You have anything else to add to your Screenless Shoutout that is 5 things now?
No.
It's supposed to be 1 thing, by the way. I just want to say that.
Wow.
Yeah?
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to kick you.
You did kick me.
I'm sorry.
She kicked me under the table.
I didn't mean it. I did accidentally because I'm swinging my foot.
Alright, what's our time at?
2:13.
Really? Man, every time I think, like, this is going to be it. This is going to be the long one.
Even when you edit, it's going to be down to, like, just 2.
It's going to be down to 2 hours again, yeah. So, I think we did a good job of keeping it pretty
concise,
laser focused, yeah.
Yeah, I think Will like this one.
What do you want to watch next week? Did you just pause it?
No.
Oh, you just clicked something.
I clicked away from my sticky note.
That's going to be it for the podcast this week, everybody. Well, I want to thank you for listening. Thank you for being here with us again. And we really hope that you enjoy this episode of the podcast as much as we enjoyed the movies that we watched.
What's the thing they say on PBS?
Viewers like you.
Viewers like you make this possible.
Do they?
I
we
think
lose money on this.
we enjoy seeing movies.
We
need
like
to get the movie
seeing
pass.
movies. Yeah, we need to get Movie Pass. Next week we'll talk about Movie Pass, a new movie and an old movie, and maybe a game that isn't Baldur's Gate.
I feel like I'm still going to talk about Baldur's Gate, but okay.
Maybe.
I don't know what else I'll play.
Final Fantasy VII.
Other than Final Fantasy VII.
All right, so that's going to be it for this time, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.
See ya.
We don't want to be ya.